Your grace is love beyond all means. It breaks the chains and gives strength to the weak. When I am lost, you're there with me. Your grace alone can set me free. Your grace abounds, it knows no end. It covers me and is my defense. When I am weak, you're strong for me. Your grace alone can set me free. Your grace alone is good enough.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to BPL here. It's your great Saturday night right now. We have a great game to start us off here as Primal Pineapples take on Polaris. My name is Dextron. That is Jace. Jace, how are you doing here tonight?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Me when I don't set my camera up on time. Here we go. Good to go. This is a really super duper important game for both of these teams for the standing of this group late into the regular season. Only 2 games left. This is one of them. Yeah, the stakes on this game are absolutely enormous for both of these teams, particularly for Polaris if they can pull out a 2-0. But Dex, we do have a B stream, and we've got, of course, a whole round of games for you tonight, as per usual. It is Saturday, so grab some popcorn and enjoy BPL. Dex, I know you're a little bit like sort of less sunken in terms of the investment around here, but any games pop out to you, and any that you think you like the look of?
I mean, that Log Racers Terrapin game happening on BPL 2 at the 8 o'clock hour, it should be a fun one. AR High Noon and Daybreak should also be a good one. I don't know the stakes for Oomfie University and Cernunnos, but again, like at this point in the season, I'm expecting good games out of everyone because, like you said, at this point in the season, stakes are high for a lot of teams. You might not be fighting for the 1st seed, but you might be making sure you're not fighting for the 7th seed.
Absolutely, and Camp Half-Court Corrupted Dice is one that I think might throw some of the tier list heads and the fraud watchers into disarray. That one has a real potential to be 2-0 for both teams. And you're thinking, wow, Jace, great analysis. But if you look at the standings for both of these teams in their group, that's not quite the case. But we've got a banger today, as I said. AR High Noon versus Daybreak going to be going on after. But yeah, keep your eye on that B stream. And yeah, you see Camp Half-Court 2 and 3, Corrupted Guys are leaders at 4 and 1. Those 2 match up today, Dex, and I think that has real potential for a Camp Half-Court 2-0. I genuinely do mean that.
It would be really interesting to see, and like you said, it would throw a lot of those tier lists kind of out the door if that game were to go that way. But Corrupted Guys, I was able to cast them last week. They look like a team that's really put together. I think they are going to come out on top of the Ash division. But you look over at the Aspen division, Polaris, Primal Pineapples right there, both 4 and 1 coming into this game today. And I mean, if you're Polaris, outside of losing week 1 to Marin Mellows, you haven't really looked back. 8 straight victories for them in maps, 4 straight victories overall in series. And I mean, we saw Primal Pineapples last week against Frogs on Fire take their first loss to them. That's why Frogs on Fire currently sitting above them 4 and 1 in the standings.
Yeah, and Polaris have got Spud Clusters in their final game as well, who are currently 3 and 3 and quite struggling this season. As you can see, basically every map going to map 3. I think a couple of 2-0s on the list there as well. So that's going to be one that I say wouldn't really concern Polaris in terms of strength today. It's going to have to if they drop the series here. But let's look at this Polaris roster, who I do think are the best in the group. There's some crazy oversights. Again, it happens. People are just missed out in draft leagues. Not everyone knows everyone, and it leads to some crazy deals. Both Cry and Ghost have been good this season. Clooney in particular is just a demon. Dex, Polaris have never gone to a map 3, but they've not needed to.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that week 1 loss to Marin Mellows, where that was a sweep, I mean, you can look at all the map scores here. Probably their closest one was against, I believe that was Zephyr 2 weeks ago, where, I mean, it was pretty close to end up coming out on top. But Alibi, Seda, Clooney, Greetings, Zimzef, I mean, a lot of players on this team, if they're all here tonight, we should see them at least show up once as per the rule book. But now to the other side for the Primal Pineapples. Laser and Didn't You See Me, your DPS line. Barry, your tank. Alphabet, Harry, Helitar, and Fern. I mean, Altair are your supports. However, I believe we saw Altair last week, you know, swap in on the DPS here a little bit here and there, but they are listed as support. But I think, especially in A-League, having some flexibility on your team is never a bad thing.
Yeah, and just to clarify as well, Laser is going to be unavailable this week because they are... I have no idea actually, but they were 4 a.m. in a car to the airport yesterday, so they're not going to be available this week. And then Altair, obviously Tracer as the profile picture gives you a little bit of a hint. They are usually a very solid flex DPS. Will be taking up probably the hit scan, as does play more of that Torb, that May, that Farah, etc. Fern coming in, I think this is her second game, joined late into the season to replace for a backfill, and Berry is their solo tank. And both of these backlines, I think, are excellent and empowered with a really good tank as well. I'd look at these backlines of both teams, I'd say they're definitely minimum top 5, probably top 3. Berry and Greetings are 2 of the better tanks that we've got in the league as well. Real quick, Dex, I just want to say, like, low-key this season, it has been, as someone that has been invested in calling all heroes for a while, we've got so many fantastic MB and women and femme players in BPL this season. And obviously, of course, your gender doesn't matter in terms of the game of Overwatch. It's how good you are, but it's just incredible to see how many, like particularly in B League, amongst the tier listers, like the top 5 or 6 are all women, and it's fantastic to see because I'm a big proponent, a big captain of diversity. I would like to say so myself. But nonetheless, in this game, we're going to see talented people of all genders or nationalities on this first map, which is Busan.
Yeah, I mean, you see the map set here for this series, Busan, Blizzard World, and Esperanza if needed. So, I mean, we saw a couple series last week where Control was not the first map, and I felt like that kind of gave some good advantages to some teams here. But Control being first map here tonight, you see the Winston and the Soj banned out here, so that does allow a lot of variety of play. Freya still there. You do see at least Seta currently hovering over the cast. That's one hero I really expect to see throughout the series here tonight. Yeah,
absolutely. And the Winston ban, I think, makes a little bit of sense, but I'm not sure on this map, considering the other ones that are available. It's absolutely a great Greetings character, probably their main, if you would say, and of course, getting rid of the Sojourn. This character has been a lobby admin in general. So, hey, they honored the Hog Mirror. So Berry is on the Hog. I was about to say, if you tell Berry to lock Roadhog, they will absolutely pick it. Zinzif on the Baptiste as well, and that character's had a little bit of a resurgence lately, finally trying to push out Kiriko, who's been basically perma-meta since, like, release.
Yeah, and I mean, Kiri still does find their opportunities of, you know, make a lot of value here, but Altair sticking on this Widow here, I think it's actually going to provide a decent amount of off angle onto Polaris that might just cause them to struggle out here. Polaris, though, going to get first point cap here, really uncontested, as it looks like Primal Pineapples are just looking for any sort of little opening they can get, especially with Greetings not honoring the Hog Mirror.
Yeah, definitely dishonest remarks from player. Absolutely, and Polaris have point control, which means the Hog needs to do something, but this Cassidy is just jaywalking into the Roadhog. Berry gets away, almost. Seta gets away a little bit stop-free. Really should have got hooked and killed there by Berry.
Barsop will be the first one to fall in this entire map, and I mean, they're already so close to a Kitsune rush here. Berry, though, looking a little bit worse, whereas Polaris starts to get a little bit aggressive here now. Greetings going to be able to find Didn't You See Me, and here is the cleanup for everyone else. Zimzef getting the final one, and honestly, I think if you're Primal Pineapples, the Hog was fun, but they didn't respect it, so you might have to swap.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's time to put the Roadhog away. Could have gotten a pick or two, unfortunately. Just the Hog's lack of being able to actually do anything in terms of a competitive Overwatch lobby means that Seta finds a nice flank. Going to be primed and ready to go, bringing it to the Pineapples. Nice early window from Zinzif, though.
And that's going to really force Pineapples here just to try to rotate around it. And I mean, you're not really going to find a lot of value from this window here for Zimzef. But again, you're just buying some time here. And you already have, one member back on point. Zimzef, though, could be the first one to fall. Altair making the swap over there to the Cassie. Immediately finds value. Cernunnos now out from Bara. So Altair finding their second one in this fight, looking for more. And now there's the cleanup you were looking for Primal Pineapples. They'll get the point swap here after about 76% going over to Polaris.
Yeah, really nice rotation. Polaris sort of put themselves, so they put Primal Pineapples on a clock there with the window, really stalling it out, and they're not able to find anything through that window. At the very least, it buys some time, but unfortunately, just after it ends, Altair finds the peak, and that's just like a straight Seta lobby 1v1. And Seta does have High Noon in response for this fight. No, it's not the best ultimate in the world, but I think when you're trying to vie over point decks, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad. And here it comes out right now. Barry maybe try to poke out, see if they can get the Javelin on, but not going to be able to find anything just yet. Altair going to be able to find Alibi out, though, in that backline. The Deadeye will fade away right there without even a point swap coming over. And that's, I think, what you were really looking for if you were Polaris, and you just see Primal Pineapples, again, just finding a lot of value here after the first pick was taken here. Seta will find one, but that's going to be the only thing that Polaris gets this fight. Primal Pineapples, I mean, after really respecting that hog mirror that, they talked about, come back out and with the swap, and now are looking like they're the better team.
Yeah, what you do is you roll out on the hog and the neutral, so then you just bait the counter pick. Because if you counter pick outside of rolling out on Roadhog, it's dishonorable. But if you start on Roadhog and then you hard counter swap, it's honorable because you were playing Roadhog, Altair on the Cassidy, first name Cole, has been putting flames on the fire of Polaris. They've been getting torched so far when this cast has been allowed space and room to breathe with the Peacekeeper.
Damage is out there from Alphabet, but Seta finds them out almost immediately. Altair trying to find what they can with an Annihilation and beat out here from Polaris. They desperately want to get this point back in their control. Deadeye out from Altair, who's looking for anything, but that shield right there from Greetings will seal the deal, not only in this fight, but for that ultimate. They get the point flip, but Primal Pineapples, 85% right there. However, at this point, Jace, I mean, it's almost final fight territory for both teams.
Yeah, pretty much is going to be final fight territory. I think both of these teams so close, and Polaris trying to go early to stop the touch. I don't think that Berry is going to get it. Can Borrow Soap hit the Lucio rollout? Berry's ult comes in, doesn't quite find one, does just drop Cry.
Seta will fall as well. Barry will eventually die there as well by the hands of Alibi, but the cleanup is there for Primal Pineapples. Polaris is trying to play a little bit forward there, a little bit aggressive, is going to come back to bite them. But hey, because they got that point cap there, up to 99%, if you can get a quick rollout here, maybe some swaps, you could still see a lot of late touches here.
I just think Primal flip it at the perfect time. Polaris, I don't even hate what they did. I understand their need to go early. They've got ults that can zone. They've got a decent comp to stuff Choke. And in the end, Primal just they just flip them on their head. And now they put themselves in a really nice position to be able to potentially make counter swaps, build up perks for the next 2 rounds. I always like going up 1-0 on control decks because, as I said, it's just about perk advantage. It's about counter swap. No matter what you play, you're going to be able to put yourself, I think, in a good position compositionally going into that final round. But yeah, I don't even hate what Polaris did. I think obviously they went early, they went aggressive, but I think Primal just get the touch, and then Altair and Berry go. Sorry, Altair and I think it was Alphabet that ended up getting a little bit of damage in that final round. Did pretty well to clean up, as we see the stats here, just before the gates open.
And surprisingly, no big swaps other than Altair going over to the Ashe and Alphabet going over to the Ana here. That's really it for either of these teams at the moment. But you already see Didn't You See Me get very low right there. Has to use recall early, I believe, just to keep themselves alive, at least alive to the point where they don't have to worry about getting shot. Alibi now in a little bit of a bad spot, being pressured up by everyone. Bars, so gonna be able to find them. And Primal Pineapples, it seems like they're picking up right where they left off from that last point here. But Polaris already trying to drag this fight towards the point, already halfway to point capping, but Primal Pineapples' one-man advantage might be a little bit of a difference maker for them here. Greetings getting low, Spear Spin out from them, but once that goes away, you're starting to see the rest of Polaris fall, and Primal Pineapples will be able to cap point here first.
Yeah, Alibi just goes on the lane control, and unfortunately no story in the world, no witnesses for that crime there, as Didn't just runs them over. 6 damage Tracer, you just are Thanos in this meta deck. Every time we've seen a 6 damage Tracer, they are just always, I think, the best DPS in the game, if not second, particularly with the increase of DPS passive in this patch as well. Those Tracer bullets do more damage, and my god, does her damage stick.
Didn't you see me though? I mean, getting pressured out there in that backline, has to just blink to get a health pack. Recall already being forced out there as Polaris. Again, just trying to drag this fight towards point. I like Seda here going over to the Freya. I thought we would see a little bit on the first point, but now we see it here. And I mean, Polaris just trying to drag this fight towards point. They might get a free point swap here.
They might do. They flip map. It's a really interesting re-engage from Boris Hope. The Cernunnos rush might just be perfect and get someone to the objective.
I mean, but Polaris gets the point swap here, so even if they end up losing this team fight, you at least are going to make sure that lead is not bigger here. Cernunnos now out from Zimzev to counter out Barry's Terror Surge. Nano onto them as well as they try to focus in there. And I believe that was Alibi Bola shot out from Seda, not going to be able to do much other than find Alphabet. Barry out as well. Polaris, I mean, they played that fight almost perfectly. Primal Pineapples now invested 3 ultimates into that fight, finding nothing from them.
Nothing at all. Huge plays from Polaris. Not only do you take the point, you sort of win the fight slowly. You go one soft ultimate with Seta's bowler shot that's going to get back really quick as Berry now going over to the Zarya, the counter pick for the counter pick. Let's see. And Zarya, I'm not the biggest fan considering you need energy and you're against a Freya. The rest of the composition doesn't do the most damage, but this Zarya Orisa matchup isn't as Zarya favored as some people originally think, particularly on a neutral fight with no energy. It's very unlikely that Berry is going to build Grav quickly into this Polaris composition. They've got to make sure they don't overstep as well, because they could just get ran down.
Altair already finding Alibi Bob out on point, but looks like it's not even going to be able to make it all the way to point. Cry gonna invest the beat here to try to keep their team up. 1 man down at the moment. Didn't you see me? Almost gets blinked off the map. Pulse Bomb gonna find the ground there for them. Terror Surge out from Greetings, not gonna do much there other than keep them alive. Barry though, highly charged. You see the damage coming out for them right there. And now it's just a cleanup crew for the Pineapples. And all they have to do is get rid of Alibi. Altair will take care of them. Point will swap right back over. Polaris though, 75%.
Yeah, excellent play, I think, from the backline as well. The Suzu comes in at Berry the perfect time as the energy is built up. Primal just managed to manipulate themselves into a winning position on the chessboard. They've got Zarya on point, supports on high ground to pocket. Suzu comes in. That Zarya has a bubble and high energy. The Orisa has to face check them, and they just win the front to back DPS check.
Blade coming out from Alibi immediately has to use deflect and then uses the dash just to get on the high ground. This seems like it's going to be a wasted Blade, and that is exactly what it is going to be here. Bola shot coming out there from Seda. Looks like he gets a little bit of damage, but the grab, oh, it is massive. Finding 3, and this fight is all but over. Barry finding 4 right there.
Huge grab from Berry. Absolutely. And I've not seen them play the more off-tanky, quote-unquote, heroes this season, but clearly showcasing their flexibility and just overall understanding. I think if you're a good tank in Overwatch 2, you can really play anything, regardless of having time on it previously. Now they've got energy. They're going to have a nano boost potentially to go on as well, and Zim just tries to rotate, and they just get beamed down.
High energy is going to be a deadly thing, and right now Polaris is learning that the hard way. Greetings will eventually take him out and get the point swap here, but Altair going to be able to find Greetings right back out there. Polaris now in control of the point, but you do see Primal Pineapples. They have the numbers here to potentially win this team fight. Didn't you see me? Going to be able to find their counterpart, and now Seda just trying to do what they can to stall out. You do see a lot of their members coming back. Cry going to be able to find Altair actually, and now it forced Did you see me just to fall back.
How did they win this? They lost like both their supports ridiculously early. Zim dies on the rotation. Pineapple can't get the touch. Well, they just about do, but how would Polaris put themselves in this spot?
Altair needs to build up to this Bob really quickly because that could help him out here, but Greetings, I mean, made the swap over to this Ramatra. Annihilation about to be in hand for them. That might just seal the deal on this point. Barry low, but Altair, they get rid of Zimzev. You do see the swap though, however, Alphabet falls. There's that Annihilation. Barry taken out here early on. Altair though, in that backline, all off angle, just finding so much value. Bob is ready, throwing it on to point to keep it contested here. Altair looking very low, but the Bob gonna be able to find 1. Bob finds 2, and now Bob finds 3! Oh my goodness, Bob MVP here for Primal.
That man does not miss in the heat of battle. Amongst the mix of war, he does not miss. I thought Polaris had potentially a push to mecha base in the bag. They stole it away, but if not, Altair is just perfectly positioned on the angle to build up Bob, and that Bob is perfect. Right on the middle of point. Your tank goes down early. Does Berry, as they show the play of the game here. Really good grab. Yeah, Berry says in chat, actually a 6v5 with Bob. You can't move them out to the tank passive, and holy, their damage sticks. It applies DPS passive as well. And again, the same situation that sort of happens with Primal, with that Grav, right? With that Zarya energy, it's just late into the fight. Primal find an immense amount of firepower to just completely blow Polaris away. And then they get left sort of without response. I'm surprised, and I'm sort of wondering how, with the nano in the pocket, that Berry died so early in that previous fight that allowed Polaris to get the 99 flip. But I guess if you're Primal, you forget about that, because all is good in the hood, and you're 1-0 up. So, with that 2-0 decks, Polaris are not, I believe, not this week, not guaranteed first seed. They were looking for the 2-0 here to guarantee pretty much top 2. And now, not allowed.
Yeah, not allowed, but hey, a win here tonight still, I think, guarantees them a top 2 spot no matter what. So they have to come back, and that would be the first time they would play a map 3 all season long here. They've played 5 series up till this point. All have been sweeps, or they've been swept all the way back in week 1 when they played Marin Mellows. But I mean, just talk about that right there for a moment. That was an 8-map win streak for Polaris, now gone. Primal Pineapples, outside of starting off on the hog because they thought they had the handshake agreement right there, they looked like the better team. They truly did. And I'm looking at the stats there. You really start to see a big difference in that DPS line. I mean, Altier and Didn't You See Me just did so much. Didn't You See Me? I mean, there's a little bit of a gap right there when you look at Tracers, especially with Alibi. Didn't You See Me had 24 elims to 3 deaths. Alibi, 11 elims to 9 deaths. So Alibi was not having a good time on the Trace there in our first map. But second map of the series, remember, is going to be Blizzard World. A little bit of a different play style I would expect to see here. However, Orisa could still come out, Zarya could still come out, Ramatra could still come out here. All tanks that we saw there in map 1. And you have to remember, Winston is now back on the table unless we see Polaris ban them out.
Yeah, and I don't think they will, because it's definitely something that Polaris want to play themselves, and I think they'll be confident in it. It's target ban, of course, going on to Greeting, so I doubt they'll ban off probably one of their better characters on Blizzard World as well. Let's see, maybe a Hazard taken away, maybe an Ana taken away. I think for either side, Tracer is probably a good hit here for Primal, because you've got Clooney coming in, and while he did fine, in fact, he was very visible on the kill feed on that left side, map 1. I just don't think that's kind of his style, unless they want to potentially play Torp to counter. But yeah, I would say with Clooney coming in, definitely the better Tracer player. Alibi, more known for their Genji, definitely showed it in that performance on map 1, struggled when they had to go over to that time-traveling British lesbian. But nonetheless, as I said, 6 damage Tracer decks is just Thanos, and Clooney is very, very good at the Thanos character.
I'm glad you said that, because I don't think I could say that to describe Tracer. Yeah, I just don't think I could say that. I think I would get yelled at. But I mean, I could see Tracer being banned out here. However, I mean, I don't think we will. But oh my goodness, our first ban.
Okay.
No Winston.
I was like, surely they don't do it. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay, so, fair enough. I mean, it's one of Berry's better characters, which is why I was confused that they banned it on map 1. But both of these teams, yeah.
Primal banned out basically their mascot in map 1, and Polaris just wants to make sure we don't see the mascot as well here in map 2. Yeah, no Winton here. These two teams apparently the biggest Winton haters in the entire league. But I mean, now if you're Primal, this leaves open a lot of opportunities for you here. I mean, you could honestly get rid of a Kiri, because I don't think throughout that entire first map they played Kiri that much. I think they were playing some other stuff instead.
Both teams, I think it was Ana Kiri, and then I think it went to Lucio Kiri Mirror. Widow ban is completely valid, because this is a setter character, and you have the options as well. I wouldn't say it's quite suited to the Primal Pineapples DPS pool. Altair, more of a flex DPS, definitely favors the sort of more, I don't want to say softer hit stands, but stuff like the Cassidy, the Soldier, the Sojourn, rather than like the Ashe, the Widow, etc. But hit stand as a role in general, like you don't really have a hard hit stand specialist these days, I think, because you need to be able to play everything, right?
Yeah, but one quick thing. You're talking about, talking about Altier and maybe not playing the Ashe, even though we saw them play an incredible Ashe on that second point right there. Bob was a huge difference maker. Altieri.
Me when I lie. Yes. No, me when I lie. Yeah, they literally just played Ash and popped off. Okay, my bad.
They went 24-4.
Bro, my brain is cooked. Yeah, they were on Cassidy for a lot of it, but that Ash/Ram was absolutely terrific. You're right. Like, I'm almost like filtered it out of my mind because I'm like, why is Altair on Cass? Like, oh, it's a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas. But that polar bear, you know, he shaved his winter coat when he came to play. Because you're absolutely right, Dex. Thank you for correcting me. That I'm sure Altair has got the green light to play Ash on this map.
And I mean, yeah, Clooney going to be coming in here. That looks like to be the only sub for Polaris on the side of Primal Pineapples.
No phone. No phone, no laser.
Yeah, no sub. So no subs here for Primal Pineapples.
Oh, no Harry. Sorry, no Harry as well.
Yeah. But hey, you talked about Clooney being a good tracer, and I don't ever expect to see Tracer be banned out in this meta unless your team's Tracer is just having a nightmare of a series. Then you get rid of it.
Yeah, no, I think so. Interesting composition from Primal on the defense here. No, I'm just gonna swap over. Sorry, Polaris on the defense here. I got CC'd for a second there. Polaris' comp is just quite default. Daybreak, again, it's a comp that's slowly been contesting the Lucio Curie, and I'm just glad to see teams sort of default off this Lucio Curie, because whilst I think it's excellent and you can play it basically everywhere, there's just some spots, like particularly I think in this meta, where Daybreak just gets you so much value, and it's definitely one of Zimzif's more preferred flexi-cores.
Yeah, and I really just like seeing it, especially on the defensive side. I feel like it's a more defensive kind of oriented support line. However, the defensive team kind of falling apart here early on is Didn't You See Me picking up right where they left off on the Tracer. Make it 3 picks for them here in this first fight.
Yeah, it might actually be a 4K as well. And what you can tell here is Berry jumps high ground to contest Griffin with Greetings and Zimzif, but basically in the 2v1. And Didden and Soap just sort of run the 2-lane 3-2 split on the off angle, and they just win that side lane. They got the kill onto Clooney, then I think they ran it down onto Zeta, and then finally cleaned up Cry as well. So just terrific Tracer Lucio split from Primal. It's been such a core fundamental of the way that you play the game at the higher level, and that's why, because if you have a good Tracer and a good Lucio on that split, on that off angle, you just kind of run around and TDM everyone, and there's nothing they can do.
Zeta's going to be able to find Altier out here early on. That could slow down Primal here just for the moment, but I mean, I think this Orisa from Greetings is going to do a little bit more of that. Clooney going to be able to get rid of Barra's Soap, so that should really slow down Primal here now, and this is something that Polaris really desperately needs to do, just have a good team fight. You do lose Clooney, but that's not necessarily the biggest loss to them, since Tracer can get back in here pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And Primal need to push the cart as well, right? Which gives you a little bit of time to regroup. They can't push cart and take high ground all as a team, so you're going to have a numbers advantage somewhere. Alphabet got that Kitsune Rush. I'm wondering if they pop it just to get in, yeah.
They pop it just to get in, but it comes at the cost of their own life and Barry's life right there. A great use of the Terror Surge right there by Greetings, just to really end that team fight. After, really before it truly even started, Polaris now just holding at the choke.
Primal will try and force the issue on the high ground with the Kitsune Rush, but Greetings just reads it and slams the door shut. The cart was going in, unfortunately, now you lose that cart. Pressure, you give Prio over to it, which allows Clooney to march this lane here through this sort of back road, back studio area, and it gives them a great angle to not only poke onto Berry, but to access the backline like this, and potentially ward off the Tracer as well. So Clooney playing on this angle has so much agency to basically do whatever they want.
Yeah, but same thing could be said here for Didn't You See Me, who's trying to do anything they can. Pulse Bomb yet again, fire on the ground here. The ground's hungry. They have to be fed sometimes. But right now, if you're Primal Pineapples, you're just kind of kiting out this Amp Matrix from Zimzef. Didn't You See Me gonna be able to find Seda? Altier, though, gonna fall as well. So no Sojas for either side at the moment. As, I mean, you can just see Greetings trying to frontline here and doing a very good job of it.
Sojourn's getting basically traded, I think, shows the power, but also the respect that both teams have. Rain comes in quickly from Berry, doesn't find anyone though, but Polaris supports are backed up, which means their tank is split and potentially pushable.
Beat out here from Bar Soap just after Alphabet fell. Seda will fall via the hands of Bar Soap, and now Altier popping off with their overclock, trying to find anyone they can. Zimzef right there will get hit by one railgun, but that'll be all they get. Did You See Me gonna be speared out of the next experience right there. Primal Pineapple so starting to push the cart here a little bit. Terror Surge and Rally out here from Cry, and it's a 1-2 combo that finds 2, make it 3, and Primal Pineapple is gonna be sent back to the drawing board here.
Yeah, puts them a little bit down in terms of ultimates. Polaris is a really expensive fight for them, but 2 minutes 48 again. Primal don't particularly have ults coming up themselves, going to have to work a little bit towards that Kitsune rush, which means Polaris, they do in fact have an extended neutral to try and find a pick with that high ground advantage. I'm not quite sure about the Terra Surge Rally combo. I feel like it's good, but like Rally is such a good ultimate reactionary and late into a fight that's like, is it really worth spending Rally and Terra Surge? I mean, it worked, but I'll see how it looks in the long term. I guess I just don't like it now because Polaris are basically bone dry dead on ultimates.
I mean, Primal Pineapples are kind of in that same spot, really. I mean, you're going to build up both Pulse Bombs and your other support's ultimate, or one support ultimate at the same time. So they looked at it as probably an opportunity that they could use those ultimates and really not be down in the ult economy here. Recall being out there from Clooney, but you see Greetings already find Altier. Alphabet investing the Kitsune Rush here early on, just trying to keep Primal Pineapples in this fight. But instead, they just go straight for the cart instead, just getting some meterage here. A minute 50 left on the clock, but if you're Primal Pineapples, you are looking just for any kind of advantage. Pulse Bomb out there from Clooney. Looks like it finds the ground yet again right there, so not going to be able to clean up anyone just yet, but still, it's a little bit of an uneven fight.
Yeah, Primal have been sort of corralled into the corner here, pushed back as Polaris absolutely have map control. They're just sort of sitting in the StarCraft base looking for any get out, any angle. But I don't think so. They're going to have to walk right into the window. But nice spear, at least, from Greetings to try and get them in.
Zims up though, able to get back up top, up to that window. Greetings gonna be able to find Alphabet. Pulse Bomb from Dinjasimi will find the ground yet again there. Barry out of the picture as well. And this, again, just looks like one of those fights for Primal Pineapples where you are just trying to escape with your life.
Yeah, and Polaris are just holding these angles and lanes so well. Feels like Primal really are not quite sure how they want people on off angles or main angles. This rotation though, like sitting on the top of the pylon terrace, it's so hard to break. You've got basically one or two ways to do it, and you've got to push cart at the same time. So Blizzard World second sometimes be so demonic and takes a lot of time. Looks like finally with the beat, Primal pull final way in.
We'll find 5 Terror Surge out from Barry, but it was only out for a brief moment. Greetings now respond with one of their own, finding a lot of damage, but no picks just yet here. Primal Pineapples finally getting that cart pushed here, almost towards the end of point 2 here, but you do see Greetings just kind of frontlining yet again, but that's what you want your Orisa to do at the moment. Primal Pineapples trying to focus all their power into them. Altier going off with the overclock here. Didn't you see me? Got to be able to find Seda, and now Greetings getting pushed away from the cart again. They're the contest. Immortality Field already invested here for them. Barry going to be able to take care of their counterpart, and right now for the Pineapples, you are just looking to clean up a rally out from Cry, maybe to keep this fight alive. Clooney and Cry find one. Zimzep, Bar Soap cleaning it up, and once Cry's rally goes away, this should be a point cap for Primal Pineapples. However, wait, Seda comes back in with the overclock, finding one, getting the flick on the 2. Seda with 3. That's going to actually deny Primal Pineapples.
Oh, Primal get too egregious. Like Altair basically slides into their team against the rally of Cry. Excellent read. But Polaris, I think they sort of gifted that last fight on a little bit of a platter. Yeah, we can hit the ooh in chat. That was a little bit disgusting from Zeta with that 3k Soge. Nasty OC. Absolutely saving their second point there and parking it just before that capture objective. As we get a quick DC. I thought Primal, Berry and Co, I thought they found a way in. I really did, but I just think Primal sort of get over egregious. They sort of walk right into the rally, don't they? They stall out just enough time for the Soge to come back with the double slide perk and the OC, and that is that as Primal still winnable. They can still hold, but Polaris, I think, put themselves in a pretty good spot to send us to a map 3.
Yeah, they really did, but you know, Primal Pineapples getting that much push there, or almost capping that second point, really does still give Polaris a little bit of a challenge here, especially on point 1. Point 1 is still a very holdable point here for the defensive side. Yeah, we saw Polaris struggle on it, but I just don't really think they expect to see the hazard come out there, or did you see me popping off finding 4 there? And didn't you see me, I mean, outside of that 4 picks they got in that first fight, they were only able to get 5 more throughout the entirety of that first round. So I mean, they were really good there for that first point, but after that, especially once we saw that high ground dominance from Polaris come out, it just seemed like everyone on Pineapple started to fall apart.
Yeah, I think it's so difficult, sort of just games at this level really tend to evolve into which team has the positional advantage. It almost feels like I'm watching Double Shield all over again. Just the ability to play along with your supports Like, on that kind of second hold, right? Like, the Orisa is stuffing choke, which is where she's best, and that is what Orisa does. She just sits in a choke and lives, never going to die. Your supports are playing in Narnia, so they're never going to be dove. And if they can't be dove, because if they're being dove, who's pushing cart? So you have no cart pressure either. So you have to try and pressure cart, pressure high ground, take an off angle at the same time. And it's such a hard split that, like, you really need a 1-2 pinch with ultimates. And I think, honestly, looking back, it's, like, kind of why... in hindsight, I was wrong about the idea of committing Rally and Terror Surge, because not only is 2 ultimates to win a fight in Overwatch 2 absolutely okay, those are 2, particularly the Rally is quite an expensive ultimate. I would say pretty high value ultimate. The Terror Surge, I wouldn't say as much, but like it just keeps you on that really good high ground and it gives you the neutral advantage after that. So Polaris were able to just edge out an extra 45 seconds of pure neutral fight, which they had positional and maybe compositional advantage as well. That bat break was so safe the whole round decks. They were just in the back of the map chilling. Average support gameplay in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even see it right here. Primal Pineapple saying, you know what, we need to have that backline as well. Brig BAP now for them here. And really, it's a mirror match across the board here. Something I didn't expect to see throughout the night, considering that, like we kind of mentioned, a lot of these players are known for some heroes that we haven't seen just yet. But the meta right now is kind of dictating that these players are characters the players have selected have to be played.
Absolutely. I think you're right. It's just sort of the lobby demands that you're playing Brig, Tracer, and Orisa at the moment. They're just so good. And we saw yesterday the power of which, I forget which team it was, Smokeball was able to dominate with the idea of a Hazard, Tracer Surge, and Lucio Kiri. And it's a similar thing here. Both these Orisas just trying to fight each other. Unfortunately, Greetings has no interest in tussling with Berry as we're getting the older Orisa standoff. The horses, they'll be out of the stable soon. The rest of the teams, they're on the off angle.
Clearly, though, going to be able to find bar soap here early on, so there goes a lot of that sustainable healing out here from Primal Pineapple. So they have to play a little bit safe here, and it looks like they're just going to fall back and give Polaris maybe 1 or 2 ticks here before we see a re-engage.
They got the point kind of quick. Gives them so much time. Remember, you only need seconds, so no attacker's advantage here, I think. In fact, it's going to be defender's advantage on this map. Zimzif just eats a spear, though, so maybe the attacker's advantage is mind-controlled Zim into giving up their life for free. Who knows? Oh, Berry.
Sato, though, immediately finding 2 right here, getting rid of Alphabet, but there's no supports on the side of Polaris here. Clooney, though, still alive, going to be able to find Bar Soap. Now no support for Primal Pineapples. I mean, if you're Polaris, you can get back to this point very quickly, and you already see Barry falling back. They're going to quickly, though, re-engage. Fine. Sato, though, Terror Surge out, only going to sustain them. Pulse Bomb stuck on them. Clooney finds them, and that should be point 1 going over to Polaris. Altier, though, coming back in, going to be able to find Clooney. You do see a touch come out here from them, but they'll immediately be taken down. Touches, though, from Primal Pineapples. The Terror Surge out here now, and Matrix from Alphabet. That's a little bit of a questionable one here as they'll get speared away, but didn't you see me? I believe still stalling point out here. Good job by the Tracer. Eventually, though, they will fall. Polaris, 4.5 minutes to basically cap point 2.
Yeah, I'd say that Seto and Clooney open up this fight. They go too deep, and unfortunately, again, I just said Orisa on an objective fight. Like, Greetings is Jon Snow against the horde of the army of Ramsey Bolton there, just on their ones, absolutely winning those TX, CXX duels there on the Orisa, showcasing the power of this Orisa character in these 1v1s, in these duels. Basically a duelist with a fortify ability, so broken, and Greetings hit every single spear there, and a terrific Terror Surge too. So Polaris, they have this cracked open thanks to their amazing main tank play.
Rally coming out here from Cry early, just trying to get on that high ground positioning here, but it looks like they might end up costing them their life. Nope, they're going to be able to fall back safely. Overclock did come out there from Altier, and it's not going to find anything, really. I think they got knocked off the high ground, and that was basically it. Polaris starting to push the cart here a little bit. Bar Soap still has their own rally. Didn't you see me looking for the pulse bomb here, looking for anything at this moment, just to give Primal Pineapples a little bit of an advantage as you see Polaris just continuing to push up. And Primal Pineapples, I mean, outside their support line has given up that high ground. You do see Altier up there with them, but a lot of that support going into Barry at the moment.
Yeah, Barry's getting every resource under the sun, aren't they? Just trying to live. The stick comes in, but it's all left side of the kill feed for the Primal Pineapples. As again, they managed to stall this out. Polaris have still got plenty of time left in the bank, don't they? But really nice rally from Bar. I think he had a really nice bash on the stick as well. Polaris looking to gather resources here, I think. Might be going for like a 3 or 4 ult fight. Just look where the cart is. It's pretty much a team wipe, and then the Primal defense have to rotate back into God. Primal Pineapples, man. Like, try saying that 4 times fast. I've butchered it like 3 times already. Jesus Christ, do we not pick an easier name?
It's BPL, man. What did you expect?
No, true.
But I mean, I think you're right. I think Polaris is really just trying to stock up on all these ultimates here, force Primal Pineapples to use some of theirs, which is a good strategy here. Pulse Bomb coming out from Clooney, gonna miss the stick on the Altier, and I feel like if they find that stick, Altier dying, that might have just been the beginning of the end here. Overclock now out from Seda as they look to shut down anyone, but no, they turn the corner and Altier takes their head off. Clooney, they're going to be able to find Bar of Soap. Amix now out from Zimzap as you see Barry running for the hills. They have to give up some cart push right here as well, or else their life is probably all but over. Pineapple, so close spawns here, so you will see Bar of Soap get back in here pretty quickly. Greetings, though. Terrasurge ready to go, but Polaris, we were talking about maybe they are building up for 5 ultimates. They've already used 3. Disengagement, finding 1 pick, not a value you're looking for here. Overclock now out from Altier, just trying to get anyone they can, but everyone playing around corners. Polaris doing a good job of that so far, but 1 fight territory right now.
It really panicked ultimates coming in, I think, from both sides. Polaris, they know they're in such a good position, they can smell the map win. I just think they're trying to force the issue. And a good team like Primal are going to be able to punish them for that. Greetings ult comes in, does find something. The counter ult from Berry, is it good?
Oof, they will find Cry. However, Bar Soap trying to do what they can. They'll eventually fall. Barry will be able to find Zimzap, so no supports on either side. Greetings, though, finds Barry and finds Altier. Did you see me now? Last one left alive. Pulse Bomb going to come out, hit the ground, and we'll be heading to a map 3 here in this series. And hey, the first map 3 for Polaris all season long.
Yeah, it felt like more of a expectation, I think, considering their defensive hold, and they get 3 minutes. They managed to crack it. Decently patient play. I think just the extended fight allows them to force a brawl on cart in the end, and Primal do not have the answer. This map, though, was terrific from Seta and Clooney, I would say as well. Greetings for sure had their moments. And of course, the backline can't be estimated as well. Like, wow, good analysis, Jace. All 5 members of Polaris had a good map, is pretty much what I've just said there. But nonetheless, I think their DPS really crack it open. They've got so much pressure, so much agency on these off angles with these Soj Tracer characters that, like, they're just going to find a pick eventually, right? They're just going to make a play. And then Primal are left reeling from it, and it's really hard to recover in fights when these DPS are getting a kill and then in a position to kill again and again and poke out your tank and etc.
I just think second point in defense for them that first round was something that they really needed. It really got them back into this series. It seemed they were able to shut down Primal Pineapples, especially after a really quick first point cap from them, where they just kind of rolled through their team. And they never gave up that high ground, though, when they were on the defensive side. Polaris did. Nope. They did just such a good job, and I think that's what gave them a lot of confidence. They go into that second round where they're attacking, and yeah, they struggle with the high ground play a lot, but instead of trying to go up there and fight them on it, they were always trying to drag the fight down. And a lot of the times, it seemed like they actually did get buried to take the bait, go down to that low ground. And that's when you really started to see everyone there on Polaris find a lot of value there, finding picks early on, making sure that you did not see Primal Pineapple stuck on that high ground very long at any point.
Yeah. And it is that high ground that I just feel like was the deciding factor. Polaris just play it so much better, and then they understand how to beat it as well. And now we're going over to Esperança, and I say this every time, translates from Portuguese to mean hope, which is my wife's name, shout out my wife, but also what Primal, I think, need here going in, because both Winstons, you can't ban Winston, not for the 3rd map in a row, so it's going to be on the table. Break getting taken away, I think a good ban. Definitely Cry's best character. Now let's see what Polaris decide to respond with. I think they've got a bunch of options here, Dex. I would say Hazard. I could say potentially Zarya. I would look at maybe Sombra too. Orisa, yeah, is also an option. That might just be what they banned, actually. And we've got Leakin early, I'm not sure. Let's find out.
I would say Orisa. I mean, we saw that Orisa v Orisa battle there between Barry and Greetings seemed to come out on top of it more often than not there. I mean, Greetings only died 3 times between the 2 rounds, and Barry only died twice in the final things, but that's because they DC'd. Hazard, though, coming out, I understand why the Hazard, especially for just getting up to the high ground a little bit faster, but I feel like the Orisa might have been the better shout. But
Well, it's Polaris banning it. It's Polaris
it.
banning it, right? So Greetings would have been banning out their Orisa for this map. So I think...
No. Oh, wait, yeah. Primal was banned out the break, yeah.
Yeah. I get what you mean, though. Like, I think for either of these sides, an Orisa ban could potentially be okay, because it's clearly what Berry and Greetings are comfortable with. But yeah, I think after that map, Greetings might just be back on the horse duty. Getting rid of the hazard, again. Are we just trying to see Orisa versus Zarya? Let's find out as we go over to the lovely northern shores of Porto, Portugal. And that is a Winton.
I was gonna say Winston's available here, and we've already talked about how Barry is known for the Winston. And this map in particular might be the best Winston map or best push map for Winston.
I'm trying to think of the other maps off the top of my head. I think Runa Sarpi isn't bad because you can play it in the dive and the 6-man comms, but I do agree you've got so much high ground to retreat to and play from that it might be. But no, we're just getting the horse mirror. So giddy up, everyone. In case you've not been watching Overwatch for the last 18 months, yeah, this is the meta. And yeah, as I said, I've casted this mirror, like these exact 5 heroes in the mirror, like 100 million times. I'm a little bit jaded by it, to be honest, but it's still really high skill expression as Cry off the Brig, unleashed on the Lucio, and the DJ gets a little bit of DJ on DJ crime. Boris Hope goes down.
Out of Brig jail, immediately back into Lucio heaven right there as Cry find the first pick here, but Polaris one get a good lead here. Seda picking up right where they left off, and Clooney staying in here. I like this play from them, not bringing back in who they had map 1, but Clooney did an excellent job in that second map, and you already see him here finding 2 picks early on.
And I think in a meta where Tracer is just 6 damage, you have to play your better Tracer. Let's say for Polaris, that's Clooney. Unfortunately, Alibi gets thrown to the bench here. Excellent player. Has been terrific on Genji before these buffs. Unfortunately, Papa Jeff Kaplan, down from the heavens, said, yeah, we're just making the funny British woman during Pride Month the most OP DPS in the game. And you know what? I get it. Happy Pride Month, everyone. Tracer will be running your lobbies, at least for the time being. Cry, well, not going to be running anymore. Altair puts a bullet in their head. Goodbye.
Does Pride Month bump end once July starts for Tracer? Or are we going to see a hot fix where she goes back to 5.5?
Theta, that'll be so funny though. Like, real talk, they just nerf Tracer after Pride Month ends. Where's my soldier buffs, man? Where's my soldier buffs? It's Pride Month. Hello?
They buffed her for the final 5 days of Pride Month.
Yeah, dude,
so out here from Zimzef as Polaris just tries to get back control of the bot. Seda though will fall here early on, and Seda has been one of these members for Polaris, especially in this map. Stick though coming out there, and Barry, well, the pulse bomb stick also took care of their Wi-Fi right there, so we're gonna be going to another pause here.
Clooney gets 2. Pulse bomb onto Bar of Soap is so good that Barry turns off their PC after witnessing it. They
bombed their router, man.
Yeah. Enemy RCHD inbound or something like that. There was an old joke amongst Spitfire fans in Season 3 about Sanguinar unplugging people's PCs. Because every time he played like LANs in Korea and on stage in Overwatch League, there was just always like massive delays when Sanguinar would play. And thus came the joke amongst some Spitfire fans that Sanguinar was in fact unplugging people's PCs mid-map. But it looks like we're back and ready to go. Primal Pineapples are not playing Overwatch 3. They do in fact have a tank, and they'll load back in with ult as well. God bless our replay code, because I don't know if that happens normally. God bless our scrim code, our lobby code. Berry keeping that ultimate, actually very, very important considering Primal are looking to build momentum here and probably take a cap lead.
I mean, they would have the lead right now if they kept someone on the cart, but Barry going to be able to find Greens. Altier finds Cry. There's the lead there for Primal as they just look to continue cleaning up this fight. Cernunnos actually invested there by Alphabet, just to kind of seal the deal. And I think this will be the forward spawns capped here for Primal Pineapples.
Yeah, I think so. They've got forward hold as well. They're going to have that back high ground that Seta can look to play that railgun charge into. And I think it just is really where Primal, I've said it again, Primal Pineapple can show up with these DPS and Polaris. I think they're on their best 2 characters. Seta for sure on that Sojourn and Clooney on that Tracer. And didn't you see me in Alta? Yeah, I would say quote unquote flexing off, not quite at the top of their wheelhouses, but still just doing so much work on this Tracer and Soj respectively as well, really showcasing the power and confidence to take the 1v1. And so far it's really propelling Berry and crew into this 30-meter lead as slowly the timeline gets drained away.
Greetings maybe overextending themselves right there, but hey, they will get the pulse bomb. Beaten out coming out from Bar Soap. There's a Terror Surge out from Greetings as they start to get chunked down. Beaten out as well. They're going to hold on to it. The jab finds Greetings out. Overclock now out from Altier as they're just looking to clean up house. That is exactly what they do. Seda will find one, but that's the only good thing you could say for Polaris in that fight.
Greetings, why are we holding it? Like, you can see the Orisa, I guess. You maybe think that you keep the damage reduction to be able to chunk it, of course, not being able to fortify it, but Greetings just is able to charge up like the full, Berry is able to charge up the full 300+% power and basically just one-shot the Orisa there with the combo, and it absolutely loses Polaris the fight on the spot. So dare I say a mistake from Greetings, who's otherwise had a pretty solid series. Don't think they've made one anywhere near as obvious all throughout the 3 maps, which does actually attest, I think, to the power that both of these tanks have in terms of consistency.
You know, I understand rotating, but Polaris just over-rotated. They truly over-rotate on the high ground, allowing Primal Pineapples to actually just get a little bit more meterage here. And yeah, you're even investing your own Kitsune Rush into this engagement if you're Polaris, where Primal Pineapples were completely disengaged. It feels like a big misstep for Polaris. Kitsune Rush now out here from Alphabet, and this one I feel like is going to be the one that finds a lot of value. Didn't you see me finding Cry out early on? Alphabet finds their counterpart, and it's just clean up here now for the rest of the fight, as I don't necessarily think Primal won that fight more than Polaris really lost that entire engagement.
It's a little bit of a zesty rotation. It's questionable to say the least. Zim's Kitsune rushes so early. Again, I want to see my Kirito's walk and then press ultimate, not just rip ultimate and try and use it to go from there. You can always take space right before it, but the counter ult from Alphabet is terrific. Going second is completely fine in Overwatch too, despite what the voices in your head sometimes tell you. Like Primal are just sort of shoving Polaris into the locker there. As speaking of,
speaking of being shoved into the metaphorical locker, I mean, Polaris is doing that right now to Primal, but I think if you're Primal, this is one of those times where you're okay being shoved into said locker. I mean, look how far you pushed it up. Yeah, there's a team kill, but again, forward spawn's not going to be reset for anyone.
All right, so realistically, let's look at this situation. 4:20 left on the time bank, and Primal, all they need to do is basically win 1 out of every 3 fights. And they can do that with ult combos, I think, for the rest of the series. Polaris have to chain so many fight wins together in a row that each time Primal are able to walk the bot back, it's almost a net fight loss for Polaris. It might even be 2. Just understand that you're playing a little bit of game of ultimate poker and just don't go all in on a jack and a 7. Play the good hand.
Oh. Kitsune Rush coming out here, but you lose Seda early on, who has been really a spark plug for you in a lot of these fights. Terror Surge now out, but a nice Suzu by Alphabet. Basically no damage coming from Greetings' own Terror Surge. Zimzep taken out of the fight, but you will lose Barry if your Primal Pineapples beaten out from Bar Soap, just to try to keep Primal Pineapples in this fight. Because, I mean, if they lose this one here, especially with the ult investment, you're going to get above these forward spawns. And Jace, this is one of those maps where comebacks happen more often than not on this map in particular, it seems.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I won a map in, just also pings to memory when you talk about combats. Season 4, my team won a map and down 90 meters with 3 minutes left. We pushed the entirety of the way of this map, and it's about 90 to 100 meters that Polaris are going to have to come back here. It's going to require a serious taste of locked in after their ultimates are bone dry. And again, like, any chance that they're not on the barricade, any chance they're not pushing it forward, it's just so much time. They don't even have checkpoint yet. Yeah, they don't have butt scratch yet, which is going to drain more time off the clock as well. So really, Father Time comes for us all, and especially it's staring Polaris down the door.
And nice jab there by Barry, just to get Sada's Overclock out of the picture. Overclock now coming out from Altier as they're just chunking down Greetings. They will eventually find them out. They find Cry out here. Didn't you see me? Takes care of Sada. The bot being stolen for the moment, and you're really just looking at Clooney trying to do their best to keep this contest alive. Zimzep as well, but you'll see Primal Pineapples take control of that bot yet again, and this should give them forward spawns back.
I almost think this is like, it's not quite the map, but it feels like it might just be the map. Like, they've got such a huge lead, coming up on good ultimates as well. They only need to win now pretty much 1 fight, I think, for the rest of the map, as didn't get the Tracer diff on the off angle. Clooney going down. I think Bar is with them as well, because I've never seen this Lucio anywhere near the Kiri, the Orisa and the Sojourn. So this sort of 3-2 Tracer split that Primal have been playing all map has just been terrific. All series, actually. Let me correct myself. They've been so good with this.
Altair finding Seda outright there as Primal Pineapples. I mean, they're going away from just taking these 50-50 fights to trying to complete the map here, and a couple more picks might just do that as they have brought the bot down the home stretch. You will lose Alphabet, but again, at this moment right now, Ultimate's coming out from the other side. You're just trying to stagger out this cart touch as long as possible here. You lose Barry, and now the goal is just die on cart for the Pineapples.
Yeah, and it's all blue on the left side of the kill feed as they get some staggers, which means not as much setup going into that pre-fight, and they're going to need it. Why? Because the Ultimate's eventually going to have to run dry again. You're down so much barricade distance, so much like Mr. Robot Man pressure. I forgot the name of the robot. But you're down so much barricade percentage, like so many meters, that you have to win with neutral fights. You're going to have to chain multiple neutral fights or one fight ultimates together. And why? How do you do it? With setup, by snowballing off a previous fight win. But didn't here. Just so aggressive marking this angle.
Altair finding Seda out again. Seda has been kind of the spark plug for Polaris his entire round. Didn't you see me? Finding Clooney out, and now Cry trying to wall ride themselves out of danger. But oh, that might be one of the most painful ways to go right there, taking a javelin to the torso.
Yeah, and Didn't there is marking both of them to try and keep them away from Altair, basically playing the defensive option, screening for their Sojourn. A little bit of triangle theory showing up in BPL, and Clooney just gets lasered. I don't think they expected the damage. Maybe a little bit of a new patch hit, not quite getting the muscle memory down. Had their recall and just didn't use it because they got burst.
5 ultimates ready for Primal Pineapples. 3, 4, 5 are all out. They want to finish this job. Greetings will be able to find one. Altair finds one with their overclock. It is all up to Clooney to keep the stall going, but the stall will eventually run out, and Primal Pineapples get a complete before the overtime wick burns right there. And this is a huge victory for them right here, putting them up into that top 2, probably locking them into a top 2 spot in the playoffs.
Are absolutely locking themselves in now that they take the 2-1 over Polaris. This is definitely an upset. And I thought going in that this could go either way, right? Polaris definitely were the favorites on most people's minds, but today just didn't quite have it. Primal, just unbelievable value with the Tracer and the Sojourn. Altair finding so many picks on that Surge character, showcasing really good timing and just the ability to find picks eventually. I will say that any composition where a Sojourn is allowed to look like that actually does stem from your Orisa, because your Orisa just buys infinite time and space so that your Soj is basically unpressured playing Kovacs on that safe off angle. Not quite sure who I would give the MVP to. I actually believe on double check that Bar of Soap is ringing for Primal today, because I don't think they're on this roster originally. I'm going to have to double check, but I think they were genuinely excellent today, as was Didden. I think that Soj Tracer duo was unbelievably good. What do you think?
No, it really was. And time,
yeah, they won once more.
You go back to map 1. You go back to map 1 of Busan, they really did make a big difference for their team, especially when Barry was maybe having a little bit of an off start. And again, that kind of all stemmed from they were expecting to see that, respectful hog mirror, which, I mean, I don't know if you saw there at the end of that map, they were asking, hey, hog mirror. So they definitely took that to heart right there, felt like they were slighted a little bit. And honestly, I don't blame them. But you see the standings right now. Primal Pineapples jumps up to number 1 here in the Aspen division. And hey, they are locked in top 4. Polaris has a 9% chance of dropping all the way down to 5, but that is as low as they could go here at the moment. So again, right now, if you're Polaris, just do what you need to do next week. You probably still lock yourself into a top 3 top 4 seeding, since they lost to Marin Mellows. But if we're going off map dip, then they will still stay above them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Primal, I think they have the advantage over... Actually, they don't have the advantage over Frogs on Fire, do they? So Frogs on Fire are able to lock the number 1 seed, bouncing up 2 spots in our final week, depending on how they do as well. I think Frogs on Fire's remaining games are I think they've got to play either Halfburger or Zephyr yet as well. So they've got one of the easy games on the schedule, have a half-decent run in. I know Frogs have played Primal, Spud, and I think Polaris as well. So that puts them in a good spot. And Polaris, dare I say, Marin Mellows looking over their shoulder. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. And that is that Marin Mellow stampeding towards you. Polaris, the polar bear, unfortunately got shown up in the sun today. That woolly coat not quite cut out for the temperatures of northern Portugal as they fall on that last map. Dare I say the polar bear was in Arlington, Texas for that one. But very impressive performance from Primal Pineapples. As we're going to take a look at our schedule and throw it to break. Banger map 1, eh?
Yeah,
Banger game 1. Banger game 1.
Banger game 1s. Look at the game going on in BPL 2 right now. Camp Halfcourt and Corrupted Guys. Map 3 going on there. And hey, this was one you talked about potentially having this sort of excitement. Maybe you thought Camp Halfcourt would take that one 2-0, but Corrupted Guys, you have to remember, currently sitting as the #1 team or the #1 ranked team in the Ash Conference. This would be honestly a really bad loss for them if it ends up going the way of Camp Halfcourt.
I said going in that Camp Halfcourt could potentially do it, so let's not waste any time. My name is Jace. That has been Dex. Dex, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Really good work. And I think if we're lucky, we might be able to flip over to the B stream and sort of co-opt into it. Use a little bit of the third eye camera surveil to catch the end of that series. So what are we waiting for? See you guys on the other side. See you later. Ciao.
Victory. Play of the game.
It's been a while since we last spoke. You broke my heart and left me hanging. Hey, how you've been? It's been a while. I see you go to new clothes on and changed your hairstyle. You look good and go, but why do I still hurt when I see your feet? Hurt when someone mentions your name. Hurt when I pass by your old place.
we got nowhere to be. Just a slow dance with the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few, 'cause right now we got nothing else to do. The sun is peeking through the cotton white blinds. Your hands still tangled up in mine. Feet on the wall, your head on me, floating easy. We got nowhere to be. Got nowhere to be. Your hair's a mess, but you don't mind. You just laugh, let it fall where it lies. Coffee's cold, but we take a sip, talk about nothing. Let the morning slip. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that.
Where did the time go? How do we move
All right, welcome back, everybody. We now head down to B League for our second game of the night as AR High Noon takes on Daybreak. My name is Dextron. That is Irrelevant, man. How are you doing here tonight?
I'm doing good. I mean, after that last match, going to game 3, I'm hoping this game goes to a game 3 tonight.
I mean, I think that's a hope for every series here. But right now, when you look at the standings here in the Birch division of B League, you have AR High Noon kind of sitting down there in the bottom of it at 7th. Daybreak sitting 4th. A victory here for Daybreak could really move them up into that 2nd spot in the standings. A victory here for AR High Noon almost guarantees that they won't be the one team that gets left out of the playoffs here.
Yeah, I fully agree. AR High Noon needs to get a good win here just to make it out of the play-in. Daybreak wants the win just to guarantee maybe a good top 2 spot. But AR High Noon needs this win to go positive that map differential to guarantee at least a good 2 to 3 spot gain.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Daybreak wins this one. You could still potentially make the case that they could jump into that number 1 spot. Their last game of the season is against Aurora, who is currently sitting number 1 in the entire Birch division. So a lot on the line here for both these squads tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, we have these seeding, blah blah, and who's gonna go what if you drop. Right now, it's tight. Aurora at the top, gonna stay first. Everyone else it's anyone's game right now in the middle ground between Nurture and up. Let's get to the lineups here. High Noon has 2 tanks, 3 DPS backline, and 1 support only. Ducks can play anything right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you want to have here in the B League. I said the same thing for A League. Having a little bit of flexibility is nice, but in the B League, I feel like having flexibility is a really, really good thing. Narcissus and Ducks are going to probably most likely end up being your DPS here throughout the night. Column M and Medea, I would expect them to be swapping in and out. Mitzi, Charlie Brown, and Meow. Again, if they're all here, we're going to be seeing subs no matter what. So it's going to be really fun to see this AR Noon team throughout the night tonight. But on the side of Daybreak, this is a team that I recognize a lot of names on. Laura, Carver, and Dragon being your DPS line. Laura, I know they can take over a lobby in a series at any time. They are part of it. Zim 82 and 2-Bit. Again, 2-Bit, a really good tank. Zim, first time I'll see him here tonight if they are here. Pocket and Citron. Again, these are your only supports, so you're going to be seeing them a lot throughout the series here tonight for Daybreak.
Yes. I mean, the first map being Ilios. I mean, 2-Bit could be, shows main hog, Zim shows main tank, but you never know. Not for anything on this Ilios map.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw last series where we thought, or at least it was Primal Pineapples that thought they agreed to a hog mirror. However, not the case there as that was taken out. You see the bans here. AR High Noon making sure the Winston will not show up at all this map. Daybreak doesn't want to see Soj, so you could see Freya, you could see Cash, you could see Ash. We did see that a little bit last map, but I don't necessarily know if Ilios is the right map for an Ash. I
mean, of course, I was expecting that Tracer right now is meta with new things, of course, so definitely gonna see Tracer Mirrors somewhere in there. If you're looking for others, Freya would be good, but I know Genji he's still being used, but not entirely. Genji could be your second, and I mean, this could just be pure Diva mirror, Diva or Orisa mirror here.
Yeah, Diva, Orisa, no Winston kind of gets rid of them. You could play Hazard if you truly want to, especially on a map or a point like Lighthouse where you want to get on the high grounds a little bit and have some sustainability, maybe a little bit more than what the Diva can provide you there. But it really also depends on what backlines you see. Do you see what you would normally expect for a dive backline like an Ana Briggs since no supports were banned out? Do you see Lucio Kiri? Do you see Lucio Juno? I mean, with no support bans, that pool is left wide open for these supports to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and especially if you're going to, if you're going to do Lucio Kiri Rush or Lucio Kiri Dive of any sort, maybe in Lucio Bap. I mean, first map you want is definitely going to be Lighthouse. You want to gain high ground. You want to take top. If you get Ruins, I was surprised we see Widow coming from the Daybreak side. I'm at High Noon, but definitely Widow on the Daybreak side. But going to this, if you're Daybreak, you have to set the tone here with some form of pace. You want AR High Noon to catch up to you in any stand, both ways. But if you're AR High Noon and let's say Daybreak takes it, gives a few feet, takes you a mile, you have to stick with them. You cannot flutter out and just fall back.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, right now, if you're looking at Daybreak, they're in a little bit of a spiral here at the moment, losing their last 4 maps, losing their last 2 series after going perfect in their first 3 games of the season. I mean, we're almost having the reverse of what we saw last series, where it was Polaris who had lost map 1 or lost week 1 in a sweep and not lost a map since. Right now, Daybreak started off the season great. 3 straight series victories by sweep. Now they've dropped their last 2 by sweep. AR High Noon actually winning their last one. They might come into this one with a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, as you see, I mean, AR High Noon, the first match of the season, 2-0 sweep. Daybreak on the side, same exact team they went up against, and they got swept. So AR High Noon, based on just who they last played compared to Daybreak, AR High Noon has the map advantage on a former team they both have faced. So with this, AR High Noon has a bit of an edge when it comes to, you know, we beat this team, you didn't beat this team. A little bit more mental, like you said, and a little bit more morale. I mean, if you're Daybreak, you just got to show up the last two games. Brand new week, brand new time, brand new maps. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, you see the map pool right there. Elios and Hollywood are going to be the 2 you are guaranteed to see here. If needed, New Junk City will be our tiebreaker. But coming into it here, Daybreak showing us the hog. AR High Noon, though. That is a lineup.
Wow, that is such a spaced out lineup. I mean, Daybreak, clearly, you know, you have the Lucio Rush, you have the Kira to help you out, you have Dragon to play high, Laura to play back. AR High Noon, you have a Tracer gonna run around, Dragon gonna run around, Ball gonna run around. Now they went Genji, okay, a bit better. But it's definitely a survivability versus full rush ability. So I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, and right now, AR High Noon, I think on this Wrecking Ball is going to cause a little bit of a problem here for Daybreak. I just don't think they're going to be expecting it. As you already see, Dragon going to at least let the rest of the team know that there is a ball on that side. Looking for the pile drive right there. Going to be able to crash down onto 3, but they immediately have to run away with their lives. But they don't want to let go of that high ground just yet. They'll be back up there to take Daybreak to this fight right now. But again, I like how they're playing here. And look at Medea showing us the hand cam.
Okay. Wow, yeah, great. Oh, ooh, almost gets knocked off. I mean, he just fell off. Was he in a boot? It happens. It's true. It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what?
that's the first pick of the fight, I guess.
Medea going to be able to keep themselves alive there.
Oh no! Oh no! Not 2. Oh my God! No way! Big boop on Citron over there on the Daybreak side. Great start. But Daybreak takes point here, just full control. Unfortunately on the other side, you know, someone falls to the map, and you also fall to the map. So little team reset here. Daybreak playing kind of split. You know, you have 2 up top, 2 main, 1 main, and 1 far right. And High Noon's trying to play together. Bola comes out early, gets 1, gets 2. I mean, that's great cleanup. Dragon cleans up there, and I mean, and I'm gonna say whole team fight, but you hoist now another, like, you know, 10 to 15% before they come to you.
Yeah,
I know Dragon's looking for this pulse bomb here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want for Daybreak. I mean, you won that fight pretty early on, but since AR High Noon didn't necessarily disengage, you got a lot of stagger picks out there. And only using that bola shot early on from Laura, they were able to build it up pretty quickly. They're going to be able to build it up even quicker now. Looking for the boop again. You're playing close to that edge right there. Zim already getting rid of Mitzi, who had the rally ready to go here. And honestly, you look at the health pool for AR High Noon. They should just back out, especially with Pocket investing the Kitsune rush here.
Yeah, Dragon gets another first pick, you know, on the right and Ducks. Gets the second one there. On ours, I mean, it has pulse bomb, and I think they're just gonna save it for the last fight. You know, you're at 80%. TS a full group, and you just gotta watch out for Nano. Maybe they Nano ball. You have rally, but Daybreak out 3, maybe 4 ults. They're about to have Bolo right back. High Noon has to make something here with Nano or Mines. I mean, 10%. This is last fight. You gotta make something happen. I think that's how things.
you're really banking a lot on Medea here. Just be able to find some value with the minefield. Pulse bomb coming out there. Gonna find Mitzi. I actually think it's stuck to their shield, and this looks like it's gonna be clean up on the Charlie Brownson. No rally, no ducks, no nano, and this fight already looking all but over here. Narcissus though, they actually did get that nano out onto them right there. Not gonna be able to find much with it. Every ultimate out from the side of Daybreak as they are just looking to clean house here. But Medea trying to do what they can here on that wrecking ball. A really sustainable tank. Just gonna try to keep getting touches. Hopefully that their team can come back in time.
Yeah, I mean, Riley comes out here, knocks, deep out of mech, ball goes straight to the bottom, goes straight through. So advantage here was at least, but now it's been more even. Unless Zim get tank back here.
D.Va's still out of the mech, so you're going to see this swap come out here, but Laura, oh my goodness, again, Freya might not be as strong as she was maybe 4 weeks ago, but she is still incredibly strong, especially when you're hitting headshots like they are right there. Oh, Laura, again, Dragon being able to find Mitzi. This looks like it should be clean up. Bullet coming out there from Laura onto Medea, as Medea's just going to get taken out right there. Point flipped, and now the only person left alive is Dux on that sim. Won't be live much longer as Daybreak. Honestly, a really dominant round there for them.
I mean, it's such a DPS just showing out for Daybreak right now. I mean, Dragon and Lore just playing how they want, no matter where they are on the map. And High Noon is not doing anything about it. I mean, if I'm Pocket and Citra on Daybreak's side, I'm caring only about the tank. I mean, Lore and Dragon are playing so separate from one another, so separate from the team, and they're still getting 2 to 3 picks a fight. I mean, yeah, look at that. No deaths. And barely 6k healing on one side and barely 5k healing on the other side. I mean, they're doing their job, don't get me wrong, for support, but I mean, Lore and Dragon, 23 kills between 2 of them alone is nuts.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's just kind of telling you like how dominant of a round that was for Daybreak. I mean, I've seen rounds where maybe there's 1 or 2 people that didn't die. I've never seen a round where no one died from a team. Medea, though, already crashing into that backline, and just any pick going the way of AR High Noon would be a much better start than what we saw from them last round.
Yeah. Lore or AR High Noon has to get something going here. They need to get the first pick, or at least a pick in general. I mean, you gotta get something going. Bay Cleanse comes out there from Pocket to save it. 3 of them. And it looks like Duck's trying to go for a pick. Zim gets the first pick. Zim gets 2. I mean, I don't know. If you're AR High Noon, you have to look at somebody together, not one-on-one.
I mean, Medea's trying just to find whatever the value they can with his Wrecking Ball. An environmental kill with Boop, but I mean, you look at everyone on the side of Daybreak, very mobile players. They can get out of a sticky situation, especially if they get knocked off the map here. And Medea is in Daybreak spawn.
Jeez. I mean, it doesn't show you how confident they are right now from Daybreak's side. I don't know what will. Oh, might get 1, misses. Miz is low. Might get the Ana. They're all low. Oh my god, he's just. Why? Laura's just in your back line. There's nothing happening to him.
I mean, small victories. Let's just give the small victories to AR High Noon. That was their first pick. But you're not going to end up winning the fight. You did get Bola out there from Lore. However, I mean, again, you're kind of in the same situation where last point where, yeah, you're building up some ultimates, but you desperately need to find value. Daybreak, though, about to have 4.
Yeah, right now 4, and I mean, if anything, you have Mines. Yeah, Mines come out, has it, Cleanse is out, so I mean, Aaron can make something out of this if they play it right.
Early advantage for AR High Noon as they get rid of Dragon, so no Pulse Bomb. Now almost getting rid of Pocket. They'll be able to find Pocket.
Goes out.
This is the fight that you're looking for AR High Noon, just to get something back in this map and in this round. It looks like you're going to be finally able to clean them up. Bomb not going to be there for Zimmers. They'll just hold on to it. And AR High Noon going to be able to take the point for the first time this map.
Oh my god, I mean, Dragon's still trying to contest. I mean, holding to 79%, but yeah, I mean, on the other side, AR Noon, you have about 4 ults. Daybreak has 4 ults. Daybreak could definitely initiate with Kiri Rush, but I mean, yeah, watch out for Mines. Mines will be the biggest thing that can hurt Daybreak here. I mean, Bomb could, but you got Cleanse, so play it smart. Oh, gets a first pick there in Pocket.
Yeah, I want to see how this AR High Noon team now plays. If they have control of the point, Narcissus going to be able to get rid of Pocket, so no Kitsune Rush here. So that might slow down Daybreak. It might actually just force them to completely fall back. Narcissus now, they have control of the point. They're coming alive here for their team, still holding on to the Bola. And now Medea just doing what you want on the Wrecking Ball, causing a lot of chaos. AR High Noon, probably by the time this next engagement happens, going to be up to 50% on the point.
Yeah, and it's gonna come down to this ult usage. Everyone has that even tank. AR High Noon's higher within the ultimate tank. Bola comes out and gets nobody. Trying to keep the Freya alive. Laura can come down very low HP, like one tap for sure. B comes out, Rush comes out, Pulse Bomb comes out, gets nobody.
Nano invested on the Medea here, but Mitzi and Medea finding 2 Daybreak. I mean, you invested 2 into this fight. You get 4 out from the other side. You're going to end up losing it, but I mean, you're going to come back. Actually, no, you invest 3 into that fight. Yeah, you're going to come back with a bomb and a Kitsune.
Yeah. I mean, not horrible, but Daybreak has to get something going here just to get, you know, something back on their side if they want to take this map cleanly. Just gonna play close, gonna keep playing close. I mean, Zen looking for something here. Team is just getting kind of, you know, pushed back by that ball. Considering that both DPS are down, very crucial moment here. They get one back.
Bomb invested there by Zim, but I mean, look at Daybreak. They're actually at back cap the point. I don't think anyone in AR High Noon actually noticed it. I mean, you're going to be able to probably end up winning this team fight. Oh, Mitzi playing dangerously, but Dragon now finding 2 picks. AR High Noon now just trying to get the point swap back into their control, but Dragon get it stalled out for as long as it can. Mitzi, talk about a player who's come alive here for this AR High Noon team. At least getting their name in that kill feed once or twice every fight, and you're in final fight territory here. AR High Noon, after being absolutely dominated on that first round, so close to sending us to a 0.3 here. Duck's gonna be able to find Citron. Pocket will invest the Kitsune Rush here, but Zim gonna be knocked out of mech, and I feel like AR High Noon bounce back here on this round, gonna be sending us to a 0.3.
Yeah, I mean, great way by AR High Noon, you know, to bring it back from almost 80-0. Daybreak, Dragon went crazy with, you know, the back cap, give them, you know, some more time and some more livability and chance. AR High Noon can clearly show, like, as long as they can control the point, they can hold it. I think both these teams, it comes down to who can get to the point first, and whoever gets point first is gonna take it the longest. Team fights are gonna be pushed so close into your spawn, so close on your end. You have to want to take point here first. Oh,
and getting a pause from one of the team's subs, I believe here. That might be why Pocket might have disconnected.
Not bad, not horrible. But yeah, it's definitely come down to who can hold their side first on this point.
Yeah, and especially on this point in general, being Ruins, we did talk about we could see a Widowmaker come out here. However, I don't think we're going to see the Widow. Freya has been the go-to for both these teams, and honestly, last round, both Narcissus and Laura at times really did make a big difference. Narcissus, though, really stepping up here. Again, after that first round, no elims for anyone on the side of AR High Noon. I mean, they've almost evened up the totals here across the sides. A really, really good performance there for AR High Noon. Really get themselves back into this map, and I feel like back into the series, even this early on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Narcissus had 7 deaths at the Instagram. I think the first round he might have had 4 to 5. So maybe, you know, 3 to 4, you know, death gain. On the other side, Laura was, you know, like 13-0. He now has 5 deaths on that one map by himself. So Laura kind of getting picked out. Not saying it's the main, you know, he's definitely like a hard carry main issue to look for, but definitely caused some sort of disruption on the other side of things. Definitely screwed up their momentum, ruined their flow of things. Definitely Aaron did the right thing and made it momentum their own way, made their own pace, and made them follow into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Laura actually has the most damage in the entire lobby right now. The only person above 10,000 damage with 11.5 here at the moment. The next closest would be one of their teammates. Actually, no, the next closest would be Narcissus there, who really did step up that second round. 7,700 damage for them at the moment. And really, Dux and Narcissus not that far ahead when you combine them from Laura. So that just shows you how good of a round that truly was there for AR High Noon just to get back into it. But now you have to start asking the question about Daybreak. What happened to them? Like, they were looking really good. Everything was going their way. They lose one team fight, and they're just never able to get it fully back together after that.
Yeah, you know, for Daybreak, you know, they were playing kind of split, and they kind of came together, you know, controlled on point and played close back up if they need to. I think on Daybreak's side, they saw the team, they saw Aaron fall back from the choke point, and I think they all had somebody in mind that they wanted to go after, and I think they all went for someone different. With that being said, I think Aaron made it easier by 2-2-2-2-2-1, let's say, could find someone out, getting up on someone. On the other side of things, you aren't gonna find nobody because you're gonna, everyone wants to rush at them, find somebody important. No one's gonna be on the same wavelength of who to go after.
Yeah. Does Charlie Brown?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Mouse stand controller.
He has controller for his aim, or controller for his movement, mouse for his aim. I have controller and a keyboard, all this stuff. Mine doesn't do that. Mine detects 2 different inputs. So I know how he does this, I think. But I figured he would go control or not. Yeah, that's really weird.
An interesting playstyle out there, but hey,
I
if
know how
it
to figure
works, it works.
I also need to figure out how to get this camera, because when I play tomorrow, I want to have this camera just show me with the controller only to prove that I'm good enough to be on a controller.
You're hand camming.
Yeah, I'll hand cam my controller. Who cares? But yeah, that's definitely new, definitely different. It definitely bothers me. That is for sure. Doesn't seem right.
It's unorthodox, but like I said, if it works for them, it works for them.
It's an Xbox controller too. That's even crazier. I
like the Xbox controller more than the PS controller.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I don't like the joystick being.
How does your hand not cramp though? How does this hand like?
Oh, it probably does.
Like, how does that not hurt after like a map of just? Because that's split. You have a claw and then your one arm's fully outstretched. It's so weird.
Hey, whatever's comfortable for them, man. It's working out though, as they have really did step up that last round for their team, especially on that Ana, just being able to find so much value. I think we're still waiting for. I believe it's. I'm looking here.
We're still looking
to come back.
Pocket. Yeah, Pocket. We're Pocket. I like Medea's hand cam. It's more orthodox and makes sense. Definitely. Is it like it looks like he's elevated? No, like his arms like more elevated up.
It looks like his mouse is at least maybe a little bit elevated here, and his keyboard is on the desk. I like the
I like Flamingo. Me too.
I like the Flamingo plushie.
He's sitting there. Yeah, this is different. Damn, it's sunny. I wish it was sunny by me. I have rain outside. I want sunshine.
I'd rather have rain where I am right now. It's too hot.
It's still hot out. The rain.
I don't care. At least it wouldn't be 83 in my house right now if it was raining.
Oh my god. Yeah, we see your hands, man. What are we doing? Whoa,
Okay,
whoa.
okay.
That's me. All right, can we mods ban him? Get him out. You know what? Take away his camera privileges. Actually, that was rude.
Looks like we are back into the lobby now, and I mean we lose all their stats, but it looks like Charlie Brown also disconnected as well.
What is?
Round 3.
Yeah.
Capture the
Oh,
objective.
got everything back. Some either spectator or sub left. Nothing changes. They're running back the exact same lineups here. Wow, Medea just going for a crazy rollout. Dragon trying to get something going. Might, take the ones. Hopefully. Oh, I thought they fell off.
They did. But, recall. Zim, though, going to be able to find Charlie Brown out, but immediately traded back out too.
And they trade back out with a Freya. Yeah.
One support down for each side. No Freya for either at the moment. Here, Citron, you're going to be able to save it here, but you're not going to be able to save your team here. It's this first point. We'll go over to AR High Noon.
Yeah, I think you just got to get out here, my man. Before ball just rips you to shreds.
I want to talk about it earlier, but his crosshair is a square.
It is a square. Mine is like a diamond. That's what mine is. Mine's so whack.
I guess.
I can always get weirder.
But yeah. I mean, right now, Medea on this Wrecking Ball, like I kind of said, and when I always see a Wrecking Ball, I always call them chaos comps because you want to be moving around. You never want to be still in mid. And Miyada is just doing so good at the moment.
We saw for Dragon's people be at the door that just goes flying upwards, and he's just gonna keep going with his back line, just annoying them. Already has mines. Wow. Dragon has post bomb. Big roll bowling ball there.
Like at this point right now, I'm wondering what happened to the Daybreak team we saw .1, because they look like a shell of themselves here. AR High Noon now all the momentum, and again, Medea just playing aggressively and not being punished at all.
Yeah, AR High Noon has the right approach here. Set your own pace, make them follow it, and just play like you said, chaotic comp. Play chaotic comp. Ball's gonna keep distracting your supports. Your supports gonna keep calling for help in the back line, and you're gonna have Ducks just keep rolling around your back, and then everyone's gonna be looking at someone that they shouldn't be, and it's working. Pulse bomb comes out, Rush comes out, Pocky goes down first, Bola comes out, gets the trade out, but I mean, does not matter.
That's gonna be all they find there. Zim not even gonna invest the bomb, and instead go for a very advanced form of high dive right there, where they won't hit the water first. And AR High Noon, 4 ultimates going into this engagement.
Oh my
God. His final fight.
Yeah, literally, Medea could just sit there, put down bomb. Wow, mid-season first crazy. Literally could put down mines right there and just be safe.
Touch gonna be able to come out there. Zim gonna eat the pulse bomb, and look at that. Daybreak actually coming back into this one here, finding some picks. Zim might get demeched here, but the bomb will probably end up being used here. Nano invested onto Medea here. But if you're AR High Noon, I think you might just let this point flip here, not invest anything. No, you're gonna actually invest mines. You do have 2 members on cart. You're just looking to ball people in them right here. Ducks will find one. Laura will find Charlie Brown back out there, and you get the demec. That's exactly what you're looking for here. Medea though still hasn't died. Daybreak though gonna be able to cap the point. AR High Noon should fall back and regroup, but I don't think they know the word fall back here as they're finding picks.
God, I mean, no pun intended, but big ballsy move by Ball. I mean, to use mines and just put that out there just to do it, and it works, and no one's gonna touch. Oh, never mind, they get 2 to touch. Pocket doesn't get to trade back. They get to trade back on Citron.
Citron out, Medea finding 2. They're almost built into another minefield here right now. 2 and 2 fights would be insane, but that's how much value they've been finding here. Daybreak, they're looking for anything they can at the moment. They're not even pressuring out the support line. Medea turning up when most needed here. Laura gets shut down. Zim about to be demeched here on point. Dragon does have pulse bomb, needs to find a lot of value with it here. It will come out, but it's only gonna find the granite. Mines ready, won't be needed as AR High Noon. Talk about a comeback performance here from them after that first map where they were completely humiliated, but they come back in and win it.
That is insane. I mean, AR High Noon, Laura just play the game, but I mean, AR High Noon goes from down 2 to, maybe we shouldn't use an ult, and Medea says, nah, we're gonna use mines. Use mines, gets 3 back, and it turns into like just a stagger of like 2 to 3 team fights of we have 4 on 4, 3 on 4, 3 on 4 to 5 on 3 to 5 on 3. Just keep looking back and forth. And I mean, that's just insane by AR Noon to make Daybreak look kind of lost after that first map, and to just keep the pressure going even when they were down a significant amount of numbers. I mean, props to AR Noon there. It wasn't on their side in the beginning. I mean, they locked in, they came to play, and they're showing Daybreak that they are going to come for their spot, and Daybreak's going to drop down. AR Noon is showing that they're not going to be taken lightly.
Yeah, remember the situations coming in this one here. There was a possibility that Daybreak, with a win here tonight and a win next week against Aurora, could find their way to being the ~1 seed here in the Birch division. But right now, AR High Noon, I mean, a victory here tonight definitely locks them out from not being the team that misses out on the playoffs. However, I mean, the spiral is just continuing here right now for Daybreak. Make it 5 straight map losses for them. And before this loss streak started, they were undefeated. Now they're staring down the barrel of potentially losing 3 straight series.
Yeah, I mean, going undefeated, 3 up, and now you're about to end, almost the season on, sub 500 is a blow to team morale. And look at the stats here. Laura was, like 13-0 first map, ends 24-10. On the other side, Narcissos is 21-10 after starting like 0-5. I mean, just the flip of DPS is a shout. Of course, Meta is going to be, your prime tank, but it's definitely a DPS battle right now between whose DPS are going to show up, whose DPS is going to do what, whose DPS is going to be the weak link. And wow, Daybreak takes out Tracer. It must be Swatted with Dragon.
I don't like that one here because this is a dive map and Wrecking Ball is normally looked at as being a dive kind of tank. And especially with Meta here really turning it up, especially in points 2 and 3, I feel like you're just allowing them to kind of bully you again.
Yeah, you just gave, in reality, that ban helps High Noon one another. You have Dragon, who's your Tracer main, and they had a Tracer. Don't get me wrong, they did their job, but Ducks did the job, but Dragon's still better than Ducks. So you kind of just got rid of your DPS that was doing pretty good for your team, doing some value, and just not getting the tank that was causing you the most issues. That is insane. I don't know if that was the right choice by Daybreak. I don't know if everyone assumed that's the right thing to do, or they just said, you know what, we're just gonna throw this in the air and see what happens.
Thinking of it a little bit more here, unless they column M is going to come in as a sub on any other line, Meta will be out. So they will sub out if column M is going to come in as a tank, because we know that column M is in the lobby as a spectator. So they will be swapping in here.
They will be swapping in.
So, subs are going to be prevalent here for both teams because we definitely know that there are spectators on both sides here. So the Tracer ban might honestly be a smart ban here, considering maybe AR High Noon might have someone coming in that is a little bit more known for their Tracer. Duck still did an incredible job last round, but maybe you want to make sure whoever is subbing in for AR High Noon isn't allowed to take over the map.
I am looking right now at the roster, and AR Noon only has 2 flex, and that's Ducks and Narcissos. Everyone else is either tank or support. And AR Noon gets rid of Bat, which is a great pick. On Hollywood, high, able to get around. But for Daybreak, either they didn't do a film room study on this other team, or maybe Carver's coming for Dragon, and they're just trying to protect for him. That's the only thing that makes sense.
We'll see the subs here when we eventually get into lobby, but like we've said, there's a lot of, we know that there are at least 1 sub for each side. I believe we might even have the full teams here, so 2 subs is definitely a possibility here for both these squads, and M should be coming in as tank. Meta will have to sub out here unless AR High Noon thinks maybe we can throw M on to another role, because Meta really was coming alive there on that Wrecking Ball late there on Ilios.
Oh, 100%. Causing, just issues. Like you said, chaotic comp, just making everyone look at him and no one had a pure target. But going to Hollywood, you have Winston back, but unless 2-Bit is in the lobby, which I assume he is, maybe he can play Winston, but Zin will have to be swapped out. But, Daybreak here has to make up a lot of ground. They either have to push it all the way for 5 minutes, not get it contested, or just their defense first, hold them, and just make it an easy walk-on point. Daybreak has the tone of nothing close. Well, AR Noon can make it close, and, of course you don't want to, but they have that insurance there. Daybreak has to point out that they don't want to be close. They need to either walk them down and maintain everything themselves, or just not let AR High Noon get anything going for them.
Yeah, but heading into Hollywood here now, Daybreak, remember how they started off last map? They started off on fire, didn't die at all that first point, something that I'd never seen before. But then it fell apart. And that's my fear, is that we might see the same kind of start for Daybreak here this round, where they start off really hot, but at some point they'll lose a fight and just never be able to come back into it. And so I need to see that sort of resilience from Daybreak here early on, but I think if you're going to start off hot, starting off on the defensive side might be the way to go. And yep, we see column M here on the tank. They'll be coming in as your Winston player.
Yeah, I like AR High Noon. Let's, of course, just a troll around, but I like AR High Noon's lineup right now. Only thing I have to worry about is the Freya, but on that, you kind of just, it's something to get another split comp, but does a lot of damage output. Other side of things, You're going to play a lot more, of course, defensive against the Winston, which is completely understandable. But Laura and Carver are going to be split as well. But Laura's got to need, support from, the Brig, Juno, and Carver's got to play so by himself to get in and get out without taking too much damage or getting the first pick. Cernunnos can just seek out anybody they want, I think, here with no pressure on them.
I like the pharmacy coming out here early on, especially if Laura's not able to land shots. That will allow Ducks to just kind of do whatever they want. I mean, they're already trying to pressure out the backline here now for Daybreak. Zim, though, very low, and you do see Column M diving in, but the Reaper from Carver doing a lot to Ducks. Gonna have to just keep themselves alive here as Meow focusing in on the rest of their team right now to get them up and alive, but no picks just yet. But Laura, they'll get rid of half that pharmacy combo, and I think that might just do it for that play.
Yeah, I think if you're Aaron and you back out, you play your chances. Unless you, of course, get a pick. Sorry. You can get something up. But, yeah, he's got to wait for your Mercy to come back. And, I mean, Column has the right idea to go for the backline there. Bar Mercy has to go with him there. They can get a guaranteed 1 or 2 picks.
And, I mean, right now, if you're High Noon, Charlie Brown, not that far away from a nano, but finding Pocket out. Carver, they're going to immediately trade it out on the Narcissus right there. So an eye for an eye. The Red's going to get back in, and Carver taking out Laura, though. Going to be able to get rid of Duck. Zim takes care of Meow.
Meow goes out.
Even trade across the board here. Laura not going to, or Charlie Brown not going to be able to find the sleep, and that will basically do it for this engagement here. Laura really keeping Daybreak in this round here, or at least contesting this point.
Ooh, they get one, but I mean, Column has to just sit. Yep, get the mega. I mean, your whole team's gonna be back, and I mean, yeah, you see it. It's gonna go straight, but he is low. Column is low. Big Clin, still goes out. Waiting to use Bola here. Can definitely get someone. Just gotta watch out for that Matrix here. But it's gonna keep hostage. Wow, big sleep. Nuke comes out. Somebody. Narcissus goes out to Laura though. Wow, big orbital.
Daybreak doing exactly what you need to do here. Like I kind of said, they start off really hot and slowly started to fall apart. A good defensive round here would definitely help them into the next one here. And right now, only giving up 1 tick is a great start for them here. And they got some ultimates out from the other side. However, they also did invest 3 of their own.
Yeah, I mean, really gotta watch out for Carver here with the, I'm gonna say Beyblade because that's what's always been called. But because Trevor has to be careful of sleep here. Can't use that too much. He has to be careful with cleanse. On this side, I guess doesn't get somebody. Oh, we're going for it early. It's 1, 2, 3. Wow.
4 right there by 2-Bit, and this fight is all but over. Column M will find one, but they understood the assignment right there, that it was all but over. Nice play there. Carver, though, leading the way.
Yeah. Either Aaron didn't know he'd have it, or someone didn't ult check properly. No one even looked left. I mean, no one even noticed he was there. But Aaron, they get that out. So good use by Carver. Use that ult with a minute left going. Aaron has to get something going. You get a couple picks here. That's not be them, of course, and not stagger or trade out the picks. Carver just gotta keep walking through and just looks on down back to point.
You have Rally ready to go here for your Daybreak. Laura not that far away from another Polish shot. Am gonna find 2-Bit out. Huge early pick here, but that Rally might keep him in here. No bullet for Narcissus as gets eaten up here, but Carver taken out of the engagement early on. Zim just kind of playing their life right now, nowhere near a bomb. They understand they might end up being last touch. Nice eat there onto the jagged wall, but finding Laura might just do it here for Daybreak on this defensive hold. And Zim getting knocked out of mech. Yeah, you're just gonna fall back. Give AR High Noon this point.
Yeah, I mean, now you have your tank, and you have your one of your DPS gonna get far spawn. I mean, if you're AR in here, you take advantage of this and you get height, and you just kind of flush everyone out because they're down. I mean, they're gonna come back, here. You keep pushing, but you have height on them. You get something going. You're gonna get a lot of space here. You might be able to get that just around that first little corner there, if they can play it right. And Colin can play smart here and not just get flushed out and just maintain his ground. He'll be set for a little bit. I mean, he's taking all of them on. What's Carver doing? What's Carver doing now?
Carver's on the back line here, just trying to rotate in, gonna get forced to Suzu out, but they immediately have to run away or else they would have been taken out. downpour coming out there
It's
from
one.
Column M, but doesn't really get anyone there. At least no one's gonna die just yet. You do see Ducks getting the hell out of dodge right there because they understood they were in a bad spot. Laura gonna be able to find Narcissus.
Wow.
Orbital Ray invested here by 2-bit. Daybreak gonna look like they're gonna end up winning this fight here. Laura finding 3, looking for a 4th one, but hey, they've done their job here. They've stopped that card.
Yeah, and you only use Orbital. Everybody have 3 ults in the tank. And this side, you also have 3 ults. They used, Rain Down, but nothing happened with it. It's kind of a waste of an ult. That was a real good value. Big bolt there, just hit by Lower, and it's gonna keep looking for something. Fury Rush comes out, dies. Oh, Beyblade comes out, gets 1. Oh, he's definitely gonna get the 2nd. Nano.
They're going to be able to clean up Column M there. Narcissus does have Bola ready to go with the Nano. Going to be able to find 2 with it, actually. But can they find anything else? I don't think the numbers is on their side right now. Eventually, Zim will take care of them. Ducks just trying to play their life here, but that won't last much longer as Laura takes care of them. Under a minute to go here. AR High Noon investing 3 ultimates into that fight, finding nothing. Daybreak, no ultimates, winning that team fight really handily.
Wow, that is going to be a big blow. I mean, you can get Bola back close to this last fight, very possible, but you're not getting that Nano back. That Nano is long gone for the rest of this match, unless you get to OT. But Ducks has got some going here with ult, and I mean, they're kind of playing close. No one's looking at point. It's 2 out. That's 3. I mean, still, no one's looking as good in free game, but I mean, you have the 1v4 now, and that ain't gonna happen. Yeah, and you die with ult, unless your team can get back in time to touch. But I mean, Column is literally 1 shot.
It's gonna be
If Carver wanted to, could literally go up to 2 of them and just poke them.
It's really tough for AR High Noon to find a touch here because you really have no one that can traverse far distances. But it looks like Column M was able to get there in time. If you could have Ducks get back here, they will get back in time. But Rally now out from pocket. Meow down here early on. So is Charlie Brown. No supports on the side of AR High Noon. That Death Blossom has to come out. It will, but it will for only a brief moment as Pocket bashes them into the ground. AR High Noon, 84 meters is all they will get on this .2 push. But I mean, .1 is definitely holdable here for them. Daybreak, they stayed really good throughout that entire round. One thing I really wanted to see from them, they started off hot and really did maintain it really well throughout that round.
Yeah, and I mean, they're doing exactly what they need to do. They need to show Aaron that they're not willing to give up space, and they're willing to make you make mistakes without anything being traded off. I mean, Daybreak used what, 2 or 3 ults that fight before that, and Aaron still won the fight using nothing. I mean, if you're Aaron, you have to just see, okay, why could they do that and we couldn't, or what did we not do together as a team that they did better? I mean, Daybreak just now has to make quick time. They can't be held on this first point. They want to make first point quick and clean, and once they get the cart moving, then maybe they play a bit slow, a bit more passive aggressive. But that first point, you need, if you're Daybreak, you need to get fast and clean.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I'm just looking at the stats from that first round that we were provided by one of our observers. That DPS line for Daybreak, I mean, we talked about how good of a first round they had, or first point they had on Helios. Well, they basically mirrored that here this round on Hollywood. 21-3 for Carver, 21-2 for Laura. When your DPS are doing that much, it doesn't necessarily matter what the rest of your team does here. Zim, I think, was 21-10-1 playing that D.Va. They played a really good D.Va throughout that entire first round. The only time they died, well, that was the only time that really AR High Noon had anything go their way, capping that first point. So an excellent round there for Daybreak, who's trying to end this slippery slope they are on here now with 5 straight map losses.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Pocket too, I mean, playing Brig, 3,000 damage mitigated, while Zim has 4.7. Your support is doing so much damage mitigated with just shield, with rally, anything going, and no one is just getting through. Just that shield management for Pocket is going insane. On the other side of things, I mean, the column has 6.7 damage blocked, between, Winston, Hazard. So it's going, but I mean, support line is also differential. I mean, Pocket has 5.3, Turbot has 7.6, Meow has only 4.1. And I don't know what Charlie ended up with, but I promise she was probably not the same in being close to that healing.
Yeah, probably not there. But I mean, they were really doing all they could there, and you talked about the nano investment into that ult dump that High Noon had that really led them nowhere. It did come back to bite them, but you could say that almost for every ultimate that AR High Noon had. Their downpour came out, Kitsune Rush came out, Nano came out. Nothing just worked for them there, and that was the beginning of the end there for that round. However, now you go over to Daybreak on the attacking side. 2-Bit gonna come out on the Mercy, really like what AR High Noon did, but they were playing that pharmacy combo. I think this time around they're gonna be on Lore. They might even try to stick on Carver for a moment, maybe for one shot if they really do stick with this Widow.
Yeah, and I mean, Mercy Brig probably, of course, not the real lineup for Daybreak here. Maybe not. But AR Noon kind of run the same. Ducks on Soldier is just a little bit different, but they are. Oh, they do. They go back to Brig, and Daybreak can run the same thing as they did the time before. And if you're Daybreak here, you just try to take high as quick as you can. And just try to ignore the other tank.
The Soldier is an interesting pick here from Ducks. I mean, you already have Narcissus on the Freya here. You were really expecting to potentially see the Reaper come back out here for them, especially knowing that you're going to probably go up against Dive. But I think Zim just did a little bit too much on that D.Va to them when they were playing the Reaper that it just wasn't going to do enough here.
Yeah. And I mean, Nate comes out, and they're already, Zim gets one already. And I mean, I hear Carver just keep shooting. I'm hearing those shots going off behind them in their back line, and no one is turning on it. But I mean, they get first pick, they get a trade back, okay.
And a DMAC on a Zim could really end this one here, but you already have one tick for Daybreak, building up to 2. You will find Ducks. You do get the DMAC there onto M, who gets knocked out of life here as well. And Daybreak, a really quick 0.1 cap, going to give themselves a lot of time here to push towards that 85 meters that they need over 5 minutes.
Yeah, over 5 minutes, and their team staggered to far spawn. I mean, if you get 2 on point here, you're gonna take so much space. But yeah, play height, just hope. And I mean, Zim, or not Zim, Colin just misses going up and it falls off. Bullet shot here. Genji comes out. I mean, Carver's just gonna sit point, keep moving it.
And that's not a bad move. That's not a bad move by them just to stay on card. I mean, eventually, you've seen AR High Noon try to play point in the past. It has worked out for Daybreak, but right now, down Meow, AR High Noon just really has to give up a lot of space here while there's continuing to be pressured out here by Zim, who helps Carver find Charlie Brown. If they can get Column M knocked out of mech, that might just be it for this round in this map.
Yeah, again, you have your bomb coming out, and yeah, that's gonna save you there. Let's do that. Orwell comes out, Rally comes out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just game. That's map 2 to Daybreak there.
That's map 2, and Column M had that bomb ready to go, but they got DMAC'd 1% before it. Daybreak
Carver
bouncing.
gets slept with this little thing at the end. But just like I said at the beginning, Daybreak had to play fast that first point, and they did. They were quick and clean with it, and they kind of just sat on point and made High Noon fall down.
And AR High Noon, not necessarily how you wanted that map to go, but if you're Daybreak, that's exactly how you want it to go. You end this skid that you were on. 5 straight map losses, no more. You're now on a map winning streak here, and 1 more map win away from getting yourself back into that win column for the first time in 2 games, and in a time where you really, really needed a win here, like we've talked about, does keep them in contention for potentially the #1 spot in the Birch division. They do play Aurora in their next game, who is the team that is currently sitting up there. AR High Noon, though, I don't necessarily know how to look at that map. It was a struggle all the way around for them. The fights they won, they were kind of drawn out fights where you got a couple picks here and there, but it was a lot of the time it was just Daybreak kind of backing out of them, allowing them to take some point percentage and getting that first point cap.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this. Look at that. Zim died once, and that was the only time that AR knew anything happened. But on DPS side of things, 26-3, 28-2. Other side, 7-9 and 10-9. They're wrong. Narcissus had 10k damage, not bad at all. But there's no value coming out of it in terms of picks or any sort of capitalization on it. The damage doesn't mean much. On this side, Laura had only 8.6, same exact character, and went 28-2. So definitely the difference between final blows, assist picks, maybe, getting 75% of the damage dealt. I don't know. Coming to this last map, DPS on AR Noon, you have to just kind of step it up here. On this side, support, Could be better. Meow had 11 deaths. Of course, Charlie Brown, DC, so we don't know exact amount of deaths they had. But, I mean, it's going to come down to, can this tank die? Can the DPS capitalize on something? And can the support just stay alive, be self-sufficient without relying on a tank peel, relying on a DPS peel? Can they just, we have us two, the back line, DPS and the tank. Can we be self-sufficient without having to worry about, hey, we need you, you, and you to help us out?
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, tiebreaker map will be New Junk City here, and it will be AR High Noon with the first ban. We could see Meta come back in for column M if they want to play that Wrecking Ball, which I think might be the way we go here. And with having the first ban, I think that means you really need to make a protection ban here, or potentially just ban out the D.Va from the other side, force it back into maybe something else. Or at least force Daybreak into some other tank if you really want Meta to come back in and play that Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Daybreak here, Tracers, you can't ban Tracer again, which is, this map would be a big Tracer map. You lose on the Soj ban. Soj can be good, especially on like the other side, Jinx and a bit for spacious. But if anything, you could look for a support ban and just, you know, you could get rid of the Ana if they're going to ball. I mean, don't get rid of Ana because yourself, but you can get rid of something that affects AR High Noon in the support line, because your team clearly looks like they can play anything that they want and can still make it work.
Yeah, but bans coming in here right now. AR High Noon will have the first one, and both me and you are in agreement here. It seems that they should be banning out a tank to protect that ball, and yeah, banning out the D.Va here. Smart move, I believe. Zim only dying once last map was an incredible play for them, and I mean, contributing 28 kills and 16 assists, really, really good numbers for them. Now, if you are if you're Daybreak, what do you ban here? Do you ban out a support, or do you go after one of those DPS heroes? Because I mean, honestly, for the most part, the DPS heroes have been mirroring each other.
Yeah, if you're Daybreak here, you're looking. You want to keep the Ana for the ball, just in case. Kiriko, you could get rid of, but you know, the risk of maybe a JQ rush team. But you definitely look at a support of some sort, whether that's Ana. I mean, you can get rid of Lucio if you want. I know you Ducks. I know you someone on your team plays Lucio, which is of course not worth. But if you're gonna run a rush on the other side, it'll be a big stopper just to have Juno as your only speed, and that speed ring, as someone who plays Juno when they have to, it gets thrown out a lot. It's not saved enough to be like, oh, I need it tactically. I kind of just throw it around. So you never know how the other side of things could be.
Yeah, but right now, while we wait for the ban here for Daybreak, I mean, you're talking about Citron, who was subbed out that last map for Daybreak. That was the Lucio player that they had at least map 1. But at this point, you don't necessarily need to sub him back in. You could keep whoever you want or bring back in whoever you want at this moment for both these teams. I think both me and you are in agreement that Meta should come back in for AR High Noon. Outside of that, oh, hey, you actually hit the nail on the head right there. The Ana ban coming in.
Yeah, that'll help. I mean, it doesn't help because Aaron is going to have the ball player. You kind of lose someone that can make the ball be inefficient if they hit their sleeps right. But with that, if you run Hog here, like if Zim stays in, they might run Hog. So neither do the Ana. Only run as Zen. But in reality, Zen Bap might do a lot of damage to the Hog. But I mean, if you run Kiriko, if you run Zen Bap, he's going to stay alive. So I won't be surprised if Zim here goes a Hog and they run a bit more of a poke comp. Maybe like they have, let's say, Hog, Tracer, maybe Freya, and they run like a Bap Zen backline. I will not be surprised if that is the lineup there for Daybreak.
Yeah, that would not surprise me at all either. But I mean, what does AR High Noon really need to do here on this map? Is it really just kind of allow Meta to kind of roll around on the Wrecking Ball if that's what we see, if we see Meta come back in for them? I mean, what does AR High Noon have to do here? Because these first two maps, they really did start off slow, and especially on Flashpoint. Yeah, there's that comeback potential, but you don't want it to be you're starting to come back down probably 80 to nothing on the third point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're AR High Noon here, you have to look at how Elios went. I mean, once you got point, you held it as your own. And if you're AR Noon, that's your main goal. You don't want to be, oh, let's go there, spawn, let's kick point, let's go push up bar from choke, and if someone falls out or gets misplaced, we're screwing the back line. If you're High Noon, you have to take point and you have to maintain point. And yeah, you let him just roll around. He's doing his job, being chaotic. You let him roll around. But the other 4 have to stay close to another and look for each other's backs. If you're Daybreak, you want to take point, but you want to keep the pressure shown. Like, we have a point, but we're going to be next to your spawn door. We're not letting you get any space, team, any regrouping. So it's going to be down to, I think, an aggressive attack from Daybreak and a more conservative attack approach on the AR Noon side. And it's down to, will aggressive win, or will the patience to, maybe Daybreak gets too aggressive and someone, miscommunicates and they take that advantage? Or will the patience just not matter and Daybreak will just blow right by?
Yeah, that could be what we see here, but we do know what the subs are. Dragon is coming back in for Carver on the side of Daybreak. For AR High Noon, Medea coming back in for Calm M, and Mitzi is coming back in for Meow here. So I really think we're just going back to what we saw for AR High Noon back on map 1, and Dragon coming back in for Carver. First time we're seeing them since map 1. We will not see Citron back though.
Oh, which, I mean, I get it, you don't need it entirely, but with no Ana, and you can run the Lucio, just run around the ball, you can make something. But there also could be Brig Juno backline. You never know. This is.
You want to talk about the Daybreak comp, or do you want to wait a minute?
You know what? I'm hoping it's trolled, but it's not bad. It's technically not bad. Maybe the Pharah pick could be bad. If they trade the Pharah for never mind. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. But that comp could work if it wasn't a Pharah. That's all I'm gonna say. The AR Noon is going to run Moira Kiri, which is a bit different. I've seen Moira Lucio. I've never seen Moira Kiri before.
I don't hate it, but I also feel like the Orisa is a really good pick here right now for Daybreak. At least being able to shut down Maeda, who's already in the backline here right now. And this is what you want from your Wrecking Ball hero. Like I said, Chaos comps, you want them to be doing exactly what they're doing here. Maybe not throwing melee punches at the supports, but they're at least doing enough of a distraction.
Yeah, and already, look, they have point control. They have them kind of pushed back in a way. And I mean, Cass is going to get out squeaky clean. And they're just going to roll right through him again. They're looking for somebody. He is getting so deft with that pick, and it does not matter. Ducks gets the trade back out on the Tracer, but you are down a tank, so it's not 4-4. It's like 4.5. In my opinion, I would say still 5 because Orisa is big, a lot of health. Wow, Laura gets a crazy one tap there on Ducks, but Chardron gets the trade off. They can get something going here. He's back. He's back. I mean, Orisa just never gonna die. Rally already. That is insane.
And that's an unfortunate usage of it as well, since you had already lost Zim, you already lost Dragon. The only person you were using the rally for at that point was yourself. Here, you will get, 51%, not bad for a first cap, but the rally been useful in this next engagement.
Yeah, especially you're gonna have Blade coming up, you have Mines coming up, they have Rush, and they're gonna have 3 ults in the chamber ready to go. This side things, you have 2, you have Bomb, and you'll have Orbital Ray. But if you're Dragon here with Pulse Bomb, you gotta be looking for someone quick. You want to get that first entry pick. You don't want AR High Noon here just to keep holding it to you.
Honestly, the Pulse Bomb would be best stuck onto someone like Maeda, who would find a lot of damage. Minefield actually gets split up. Zim from the rest of their team. Orbital Ray has to come out just to get some healing to their tank. Rush out as well. Same thing with the Coalescence. AR High Noon heavily investing, but getting rid of Zim is your main target here, which you will be able to do. And this should be cleanup right now for AR High Noon. But good job by the supports keeping Laura alive. And look at that, 80% and counting now for AR High Noon. Daybreak gonna have to re-engage without Zim.
That's him. And I mean, Dragon got looking for someone here with this Pulse Bomb. I know that it's just Blade comes out. Ball low. Wow, gets 1. Okay. I think High Noon came out. Got nobody with it.
Yeah, Laura immediately had to pop that just to get themselves, or just to try to get Narcissus away. Terror Surge actually out from Zim on point. Not going to be able to find anyone. Doesn't even look like it finds that much damage here. AR High Noon just looking to clean up some picks here, but you will see the Pulse Bomb onto Maeda here. And if you're AR High Noon, that's the worst case scenario here, but you're finding more picks. However, Zim still on point is going to be a problem, even with no supports.
Yeah, I mean, Pulse Bomb can definitely clear that out. Sombra, you see that Sombra comes out and Ducks might go down. Ducks gets the health packs live. Narcissus gets 2, gets 3, and just like that, they take the first point here. I almost said first map. It's not the first map. First point. And I mean, that is an insane showing from High Noon. You have bomb still. You're about to have rush. You're about to have mines back. Daybreak has rally, which I mean, it's something. Wow, Arkansas's great first pick there. Just trying to flush out this tracer.
Right now, Daybreak, I mean, this is the best start they've had to a map here. Any map so far. Yeah, we only play 3-map series, but this is the best start they've had. Finding early picks. Look, Zim even swapping off, going over to Azaria. I think at this point, they're not really trying to focus about meta. They're just trying to make sure that everyone else on the side of AR High Noon is going to have a bad time. AR High Noon already have points. Minefield out, going to split up members of Daybreak away, but nice bubble there by Zim to basically get rid of a large cluster of those mines, but Daybreak having to play it slow here. Zim, though, taken out. That is a fallback right here for for Daybreak, but some members won't be able to fall back in time.
If I can get back to the spawn, gets rolled in by Vegeta. But yeah, look, like I said, High Noon just gonna kind of play close, but they're gonna go right at the point and regroup. And Daybreak wants to play so aggressive here. Dux has not used Pulse Bomb yet, cannot find a target, or has just not realized that they have it. They're gonna look for somebody. But yeah, they're playing choke, but they're playing together. And they know like they cannot fall apart. Daybreak looking at something, or will come out together. Rally comes out.
Pulse Bomb out as well.
Wow.
Everything coming out here from Daybreak, minus Laura's Deadeye, but High Noon, I mean, only using the Coalescence and the Blade so far, you're still going to get up to about 99% on this point, so you're in final fight territory when you come back with 3, potentially 4 your own ultimates.
Yeah, and AR High Noon's patient play is really getting to Daybreak's head. I mean, you used 3 ults to walk in there, and I mean, don't get me wrong, AR High Noon used 2, but I mean, that's insane.
Oh.
Big stick comes out. Wow. Duck's just playing patient. Finally uses it. Wow. Gargis gets the trade back on the other tracer. So they're up 1. Rush comes out. All trying to get something going. He was so low. He was so low. And I mean, just like that, point comes back.
Bubbles weren't going to save him there. Meta looking for a roll off the map, not going to be able to find it. Almost gets 2-bit to fall off the map on their own, but AR High Noon back in control. Lure trying to do what they can, trying to make their magic, but right now they need some support from the rest of their team. Dragon is back. Mines out again from Meta and finding Dragon. Lure will be able to find Mitzi, but still, if you are the rest of Daybreak, you're kind of in a rough spot here. Meta trying to do what they can, gets the pile drive right there, but Lure, they're starting to make their magic happen here. 3 picks already, and the rest of their team is back into the engagement. Lure by themselves, almost single-handedly bringing them back in this point, but you do see AR High Noon. Everyone started to come back. You will lose Meta, but can Narcissus find Zim out? No, this should be a point flip here, going back over to Daybreak.
Yeah, good way to just sit there and fight out. Lure heavily being the main factor for all of that, putting a team on his back and making sure they aren't going to lose this second point with ease. I mean, you got 2 ults coming up. You have Grav, you have Pulse Bomb could be huge here if they can clear out Twins here. But I mean, if you're AR High Noon here, you just have to regroup and you got to look for something. Get some pick. Gets 1. There's Quins. Pulse Bomb comes out. Only gets 1. They get the trade though. Pocket goes down. So High Noon does come out. Wow. Big fade there.
Deadeye finding nothing. Actually, it's really going to hurt Daybreak here. Narcissus finding 2. You see Ducks find Laura out here. Now it's up to Zim, and I believe Pocket here on point. No, Pocket nowhere to be found. Zim will fall. AR High Noon back in control. And I don't think there's a touch here for Daybreak. AR High Noon 1 point away from winning their second series in a row.
Wow. And yeah, Daybreak is just falling for this patient gameplay by AR High Noon. They know better not to cushion, not to be, simple picks, early picks. And Daybreak, when they get ults, they want to just use them to get something going for them. And AR High Noon, as you see, is starting to understand that and is using that to their advantage. I mean, going to this, Daybreak has nothing. I mean, they'll have Rally, they'll have Orbital, but nothing else. Wow, Laura gets the first pick on Ducks. He wants to Blade here. I can see it. Coalescence comes out. It's 2. Laura gets 2 though. I don't think Blade's not worth it here. I don't think. Just keep playing on the backside. Are they gonna get a free point though? Nah, there's no way.
No, there's no way they get free point. Meta not going to use mines here as well. Actually, no, they are going to use mines, but inopportune time. However, Orbital Ray out here from 2-Bit Daybreak, looking to cap point for the first time here all map. And if you're AR High Noon, yeah, you might just let it happen, especially with Charlie Brown falling right there.
Yeah, wait for your team to regroup. You got Blade, you have Pulse Bomb, you gotta have Rush. And I mean, if you're Marcus here, you gotta watch out for Rally to come out, and watch out for Bomb. And I mean, High Noon's close. High Noon could easily be deflected, and if Ball can just knock him off the map or off height or set. Pocket kind of getting targeted right now. Pulse Bomb comes out, gets you. What a bowl! What a play there by Meta just to make it happen more. Pulse Bomb comes out on the other side, gets one. I mean, they trade out tanks though. And
this fight's over.
Yeah, it's like that. I mean, don't wrong. 60% is still good, or 50%, but I mean, to only use one ult on AR High Noon side and get so much value is big. I mean, going to this, Chris, you have High Noon, you have Rally, you have Grab, you just have Blade, and you have Rush. So Grab might be just here to, you know, get rid of Rush. Yep, and Rally comes out. Yep. Rush comes out, and wow, it's not gonna get. Might get one, does not. Rush comes out. High Noon comes out. Dragon gets the trades on Ducks. He went, did not get nobody with it. Gets the trade out for Pockets. They're kind of in the back line. Mephisto's gonna go down here. I think with that, I think High Noon just have to play out next fight. But
yeah,
this
they're gonna
map needs to be close.
Yeah, they're going to have to play out this next fight here. But High Noon, I mean, they did a good job only investing 2 ultimates. You did get a decent amount of ultimates out from the other side, and you'll take that here. However, the grab is going to be the biggest thing here. Grab was a really big ultimate last point for Daybreak. However, it only found Charlie Brown and nothing else. Dragon, though, getting rid of Ducks. There's the grab. This time, it's going to find all the value in the world, getting rid of Meta. And if you're AR High Noon, don't invest anything into this fight, because you're probably going to a 0.4.
Yep, 0.4 here. I mean, also you have Bomb. You gotta have come out on High Noon again. But I mean, you have Bomb, you have Coalescence, you have and Binds on the other side. So, and point kind of in their favor. Ooh, that's a heavy pick there to take on High Noon side. That's just like a punch to the chin.
It's not the worst one though.
No, but it definitely is so early that they're going to be able to make so much space. Pulse Bomb comes out, gets nobody. Probably got bubbled. Bullets comes out. Wow, Mine just gonna shove them all in the room and just keep them split. I mean, if anything, Zim is just gonna get melted here. Yeah, that was a big split there by Mines there. He's gonna get 2 more maybe.
Smith's going to be able to find Dragon here. Charlie Brown cleaning up now, and this is exactly the fight you're looking for if you're AR High Noon. And you talked about the minefield there, splitting everything up. I think the bigger factor with that minefield, it completely negated that orbital ray from 2-Bit. The only one that could have found any value from it from Daybreak was Zim, but they were so far forward, and AR High Noon decided to kite away from them at the moment. A great play from AR High Noon, already building up to 30% on this point.
Yeah, or up 30%. You have Blade. I mean, close rush. Ooh, barely can get out. That's insane. I know there's a lot of health, but got kind of melted for a little bit. High Noon is going to come out here. Yeah, we're going to have Rally for Savior. Yep, High Noon comes out. It's nobody. Ooh, Rally does not come out. Oh, I heard it. Oh,
They immediately canceled High Noon.
Or is looking for. Or is playing too aggressive, trying to get a pick anywhere he can, but it's just not going to work against this passive play. I don't think Laura can look for these single-handed plays anymore. I think he has to play with this team more than anything.
I mean, they canceled the High Noon shortly after they used it. They understood that AR High Noon was just going to kite it out, so they needed to get into there. Pulse Bomb coming out there from Ducks. Not going to be able to find anyone. Ducks finding value already. Blade now out to seal the deal here. AR High Noon. You look at how they started this series, getting completely like wiped out on point 1 of Ilios. They come back. They are victorious here, making sure they are nowhere near that 8th spot here in the Burge division. And now, if you look on the other side of Daybreak, this skid that they're on now extends to 3 straight series losses after winning 3 to start the season. What has happened to this Daybreak squad?
do. Daybreak either has to do some form of team thing. Yeah, I think Madia is my MVP for being ball, and just playing insane, chaotic, and just making them all shiver. But Daybreak either had some roster change, maybe someone was out for a day, who knows? Maybe somewhere along the way there was a team drama, and something just went haywire. But Air High Noon played that passive gameplay just like they should have, and it worked. Lore, I mean, don't get me wrong, had 3 plays of the game for each map. But you saw last point, I get time was running down, but you did not need to roll into 4 people on the other team just to get a Kiriko. I think the aggressive play and the aggressiveness kind of ruined that for Daybreak. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Daybreak still ahead of Air High Noon by +1 map differential. But if Air High Noon swept them here, Daybreak would have fell from all the way down to 6 from second. And that is just a huge blow there for Daybreak.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we talked about here. They started off the season 3-0. Then they lost to Requiem in sweeping fashion, lost to School of Rush in sweeping fashion, and now they lose to AR High Noon, not in sweeping fashion, in a really close back and forth series, but AR High Noon coming alive at the right moment here, beat Nurture last week, finds a victory here again, and they now put themselves into a spot where if they're able to beat Borealis in their next game, you could look at AR High Noon going from 7th to potentially 4th or 3rd, depending on how some games go here in the span of 2 weeks. A great bounce back here. And you talked about Meta's performance in that last map. Narcissus as well went 36-6 on the Genji. That combo with Meta and Narcissus is one that everyone kind of has to watch out for here, because it seems when they are on it, AR High Noon is a really, really tough team to slow down, and give Lore all their credit as well. 15,000 damage that round for them. The most damage of anyone in the lobby by over 3,000. They really did all that they could there that last round for that last map for the team. Same thing with Zim. I like the Zarya pick. It just ended up working out for them here. But I mean, if you're Daybreak, you're on this bad skid. You have one more game. However, it's against that team who is currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard right now, Aurora. So if you're looking for a bounce back game, you might have a little bit of a tough one. But hey, if you're able to take down Aurora in your final game of the regular season before playoffs, you're going to have a lot of momentum going into them here. AR High Noon, though, on a little bit of a hot streak here. But you look at the rest of our matchups for the day. Only one more. Only one more matchup here today as Oomfie University will take on Cernunnos. I know I'm saying that wrong.
I don't know how to say it. I've been told
Cernunnos. I'm just going to say Cernunnos.
Yeah,
I will get yelled out after for saying it wrong, but only one more. And yeah, that says it was supposed to start at 9. It's almost 9:30. So we're going to throw it over to a quick break and come back with our final series of our Saturday. Everyone stick around. We'll be right back.
we got nowhere to be. Just a slow dance with the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few. 'Cause right now we got nothing else to do. The sun is peeking through the cotton white blinds. Your hands still tangled up in mine. Feet on the wall, your head on me, floating easy. We got nowhere to be. Got nowhere to be. Your hair's a mess, but you don't mind. You just laugh, let it fall where it lies. Coffee's cold, but we take a sip, talk about nothing. Let the morning slip. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na.
Welcome back, guys, to the final match. Well, at least on the A stream, mainstream, final match of the night. I'm here with Radical on my right for me. Here's my left, but my right for camera. How you doing tonight, Radical?
I'm doing great.
That's great.
How are you
That's
doing?
great. Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, this match coming up is number 2 versus number 8. So for Oomfie, or for Cernunnos, it's a battle of staying alive, survivability. For Oomfie, you want to win just to keep your top spot and maybe move up to number 1, potentially.
Getting that number 1 seed for Oomfie will be very important coming into playoffs, but for Cernunnos, I'd honestly be surprised with a scoreline of 0-5 and then 0-10 on the map score. That's gotta be rough coming into this. Cernunnos, if they want to keep their playoff dreams alive, just to even stay afloat and manage to even have a chance of getting at that final spot, they're going to have to pull off a miracle upset in this match.
Yeah, and I mean, Cernunnos' last game was at the Bear, who is the only team above them right now, and they, like it shows, no map wins. So if you're Cernunnos here, team morale is an all-time low. Team, anything is at all-time low. For Oomfie, everything's at all-time high. I mean, you're coming off of 3 games in a row of just pure sweeps. But for Oomfie, for the line going, you have 2 DPS, you have 4 tank, you have 4 supports, looks like 1 flex, Zeros looks like a flex, Flavored being like your main tank here. So very more sophisticated team here. I am excited though to see Ronan here, because I've seen him play. He's good. Same with Obama. They're pretty up there.
I mean, in this match, I'm going to be looking at how Oomfie University really looks to kind of enable Ronan, because I've heard on the streets, I've heard from the grapevine that Ronan, he's an absolute demon. And when he gets on the server and he gets good support behind him, he is just unstoppable. So I'm going to be looking to see if they can really enable the Beast to really just come out tonight and own a lobby.
Yeah. On the other side of things, though, for Cernunnos, I've seen these guys play. Chicken Nugget God is going to be your main issue. Same with Luna. They have a great backline. Koenig is a good tank if Ramatra is not gone. But this team is also a lot more flexibility. You have 3 people that can play support only, and Regive is your only DPS, like pure DPS. Juicebox, Koenig, Jinxed, and those 3 can play another role if need be. But Koenig is their only tank along with Juicebox. So going to this, a little bit similar in flexibility, but Oomfie has a little bit more spread out between who can play what in what roles. Cernunnos has a lot of one thing. So flexibility is going to be on the side of Oomfie on how to play this out.
All right, what I'm looking at here is it's going to be flexibility versus just sheer strength, because you can be a master of trades. You can you can have a really wide variety of heroes and comps that you can play, but you can not be good enough at each of them in order to actually get over the finish line. So that's what we're going to be looking at here, as Busan is coming up first. What do you think of that?
Busan it's a map. If you're on the outside of the temple, and if you're outside where it's I don't know the map names, but like the Widow map where it's up top, those 2 are the best ones to start off one. If you go on the indoor one, and if you're Cernunnos here and Konig's your tank, you want to run in Ramatra. It's a big, good brawl map. It's the first map you want to be on if you're Cernunnos. For Oomfie, I've seen them play here and there, kind of caught some things, haven't cast them, kind of been in and out of the streams. You definitely probably want more of the outside thing, as it looks like you can play a little bit, like I said, flexibility. The other side is going to be a bit more pure strength. So if you're Cernunnos here, you need to have that indoor map first in order to make a statement.
And they're definitely going to need a statement here. Even winning a map here, I feel like would boost Cernunnos' mental a lot here, coming out and taking a map off that 2nd seed. But that being said, we're talking it up a lot, but it's going to be very, very difficult to get that, because Oomfie are just looking so good right now. They're looking so dominant.
Yeah, and I mean, for this map, for bans, I mean, if you're Oomfie, you have flexibility, you can probably play multiple characters as well. If you play multiple positions, you can play multiple characters. If you're Cernunnos, you're probably more set in stone of these are the characters we play. This is our main roster, our main lineup, and this is what we stick with. And Oomfie can take a big advantage of that. So Cernunnos is already on the downside when it comes to the banning phase of things. We're going to this. I think your main bans are going to be potentially Lucio. Does it happen to me? I'm still mad about that. I will not let that go. But if tank wise, if you're Oomfie, you want to get rid of that Ramatra for sure. That'll be your first. I think this should be your first big ban.
So it looks like we're going to get into this soon, but honestly, if you win this first map from Busan, you said that they don't like playing those ram comps, correct?
No, like Oomfie or Cernunnos?
Cernunnos. They don't like playing those ram comps or playing against them.
No, they love playing ram comp. Koenig is a ram like main. So for Oomfie, you want to get rid of the ram offer just to maintain like an advantage over Cernunnos.
All right. So do you think that they would ban it off rip here on Busan, or save it for the Blizzard World or Saravasa pick?
I mean, I say just off rip for Busan, because yeah, don't get me wrong, you want it for later. The Blizzard World is going to be more dive. Winston, Diva, maybe Orisa. If Saravasa would be good for Ramatra, and maybe Winston, but Busan is going to be like the best time if you're Ramatra. You have space, you have if you're inside, there's no space to go. You have your vortex, you have a shield, you have ability to get around, you have extra health. It is just so like volatile in these maps here on Busan. Anywhere else, he's not really a sitting duck. He doesn't have as much addition to the team as he would like to. So I think if you're Oomfie, you just get rid of it off. Alrighty, so we just be back. Be back after.
smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wander? Take my hand and walk beside me in a whirl of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in. So the days became weeks, it felt just like the night before. You were slowly fading in my mind. When you left, I was so completely gone, but now I'm sure you were some of the best of things to find. Would you follow me to wander? If you're everything that matters to me, makes me wonder why I can't get over you. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in.
Hey, how's it been? It's been a while since we last spoke. You broke my heart and left me hanging. Hey, how you been? It's been a while. I see you going to new clothes on and changed your hairstyle. You look good and go, but why do I still hurt when I see your feet? Hurt when someone mentions your name. Hurt when I pass by your old place. It's been a year, a lot has changed since then. I made new friends, I got.
All right, and welcome back. Irrelevant, you're muted.
God damn. So, seriously. All right.
All right.
Oh.
Welcome back. We're going to get into the lobby soon here. Oomfie University versus Cernunnos. We have the bands coming in, and Oomfie band Junkrat.
Okay, this is a little bit different. Unless they know, I mean, don't get me wrong, They do have Junkrat shown on their lineup there on the other side. Hazard is not a bad ban, to put it straight. Not a bad ban there. Junkrat is quite literally just a target ban, I think, at Jinx. Or not Jinx. Yes, at Jinx. That's it. That's quite literally the only thing. They're literally going after Jinx only. And Cernunnos is looking for their tank. I don't know if that'll be a huge issue. But you never know. You never know. We're going to Basan. We see the cow, you know. I think...
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a weird ban by either, though.
Yeah, that is a strange ban. I mean, I guess it's to keep that spam out of main, but oh, it's making a little bit more sense here now that they have the monkey coming in here. Kiriko, Lucio with the Winston, this is going to be interesting, but the Torb coming out from Cernunnos.
I mean, that's what we get about Cernunnos, because that keeps, you know, the Winston at bay, keeps track of the Tracer for Exlaria, but I mean, if Data and Kana can just work together here, they can just walk them down main. But there's gonna play Kana's back, and I mean, Oomfie already is so far up. I think it's gonna push him back to spawn door here. And yeah, let's see, get 3 points.
Getting stuffed in that choke here. Ronin just having free sightlines. It looks like they're going to rotate on the side here. It's going to be about who can find first blood. Good boop. But
no.
Panini is in. Panini's pooped off the map. What is that?
You got pooped right into
You
the
can't be having
train.
that.
That was insane. Insane death there. I mean,
Cernunnos is
they're
trying to
gonna get some
find
of
more
them.
here. Cernunnos is trying to find more here, but they just can't really find anything. Ronin is getting 2 somehow. He's inside of the entire team. How is this? What is happening here? Jinx finds Ronin, but will it be enough? Claybird falling low. As this fight looks like it's going the way of Oomfie.
Yeah, Oomfie gets point here. I mean, another good boop there. Panini just making things happen. I won't lie though. Deadpool, that death in the beginning of Panini was insane. Hopefully we can get a replay of that. That would be great if that's possible. Production team. No change on Cernunnos' side. Oomfie just gonna hold close and up top and just not letting him any space. If anything, they need a walk to point, and I mean they gotta care for boot. Panini is just gonna keep sitting that wall waiting for something to happen. Pokemon comes out. Big cleanse there from I don't know how to say the name. Luna. I'll say Luna. Yeah, keep on right. He's looking for something here. And he's just not there. Wait for whole team. Wow,
Note the Jinx is forced to pop the overdrive really fast here in this fight. Ronin finds Dateable as Panini is just looking for more. How are you letting Panini get away with this into your back line as Ronin just taking down that front line? Clayburg just jumping in here. This is absolutely ridiculous. Cernunnos, it looks like they don't have anything left in them here. That Torb pick just seems to not be working out. They can't find any targets in these fights. It seems rough here.
The same part is Panini had 3 to 2 environmental kills, and Dateable has beat before him. Okay, that comes out. I think we have Primal coming out. Beat does not come out. Beat does come out. They get 1 down though. Heinum just trying to get something. He's gonna get 2. He gets 1. Might rip me now. And it's gonna run out. And I mean, it's the last fight now. Someone has to touch point, or Oomfie's gonna get first map. And no one's gonna touch. Datable's not close enough to touch. If he is, yeah, there's just no way. Data's not gonna be able to get there in time. Oh, he does actually gets to touch.
He gets there in time, but
not matter. And no one else is gonna come with the touch. Rush comes out, Beat comes out, and doesn't matter. I mean,
yeah,
that is just insane work by Panini there, just to get so many environmental kills off rip, and Cernunnos just kept going that way.
in the match chat too.
And Luna says chill, that's crazy.
All of that for what?
Ooh, there's a lot of ringer issues happening, I think, right now. Still not happy about it. I think either both teams were looking for the same person, or yeah, there is a lot happening.
Oh man, this is getting spicy. Either that's going to completely boom the mental for Cernunnos here, or it's going to fuel them to win even more. We'll
I don't
see
think
here.
man. I think it's gonna make it worse. But I mean, both counterpoint. Ramacho and Mirror. I mean, everything Mirror except for the Mei on the Tracer. But Cleaver gets first pick. Clips comes out. They get a trade back on DPS. Datable goes down. And I mean, Oomfie up 1. Oomfie up 2 now. And with that, I think they're just gonna get 3 point. Just yeah, play. Just try to maybe stagger that out next time. But I mean, they get the pick. They get 3 point. And they're just gonna hold them up close. And I mean, if you're Cernunnos here, you have to walk through, or you got to play a different side. But you gotta look at somebody.
Something I'm looking for in these fights is who pops the most ram cooldowns early. Just look at this. They're both popping ram form, but Claybird is falling low. It's about who can manage to survive in that ram matchup. Xlayer finds Dateable. Conic falls with Jinx coming in again with the pick. That is huge for them. Maywall comes up, but Claybird is still finding more. Onto the back line. Obama just... like, Oomfie University, it is incredible how they just manage to coordinate in these fights and come back with picks every single time. It feels like whenever they're down in a fight, they always just come back better.
I mean, Conic is, a lot of ram cooldown out, but he's just not using his block button. And he's just getting ripped. I mean, look, nothing happened here. He's just not trying to protect himself. And,
yeah.
I mean, that comes out 1, there's 2, and Lucio's going to run back to spawn and just wait. And it's 60% to 0. And, I mean, Claybird, don't get me wrong, used ult there. Just, I mean, maybe just to clean up the fight. But you only waste 1 ult. And this side things, you only have 2 in the chamber. And Oomfie has 4, they're coming close to beat. If you're Oomfie here, you just play slow. That's a big stick now.
Nice pulse bomb from Xlayer. Dateable falls, they have no speed here, and Ronin finds another one.
And,
this is just a
back to Mondo they
massacre.
go. Yeah, this is not good for Cernunnos, and this is how the pace is going to be set, the tone. Second map ain't going to look any better. I think if this is how it is, Oomfie's just going to roll them next map on Blizzard World. And I mean, Cernunnos got to get something going. They go under, no one's looking, Rush comes out, good Rush. High Noon comes
Good
out,
rush. Claybird falls
double High Noon,
but
gets
Ronin.
1.
Ronin finds another again.
Big beat save there by Panini there to save his Tracer. And
Shield comes
big
out, they just
Maywall.
can't get anything done. Conic finds Xlayer, but that's all they're gonna find.
First map goes to Oomfie. I mean, if you're Cernunnos here, there's no real band to be looking for. It's quite literally just team. It's all it is. It's just team difference. I mean,
What I'm looking at there is the target calling and the ult usage, because the ult economy in those fights was just terrible for Cernunnos. They couldn't really get anything going, and every time they did have the advantage in a fight, it felt like they just tossed because they didn't have any kind of coordination. But you have to give it to Oomfie University here. Having that coordination, having that synergy, just flowing throughout the entire game, it felt like not letting a single percent go in this series so far.
I mean, I'm looking at the match stats right now. They still, on the Cernunnos side, they still got a pick. No one didn't have no picks, but Clayboard hasn't died once. Neither has Obama. So you have your Curie up and you have your tank up at all times. And I mean, DPS averaging minimum 20, looks like almost a 50 bomb, almost between the two. Like 24 and 21, 45 kills is DPS. Your tank alone has 24. Outside alone, overall, just quick math, so 11 kills as a team. And even their flex support has 14. So if you're Cernunnos here, you either have to just push aside everything, whatever is happening before this match, during this match, whatever it is, push it aside, move on, forget about it, go next. If you're Oomfie, you just keep the pressure going, and it's on your side.
I see all of the momentum in favor of Oomfie right now, but anything can happen. This is Overwatch, but Cernunnos going for the Tracer ban. That is interesting. Possibly coming in on this map, maybe Oomfie would like to play the Orisa, and banning that Tracer just kind of throws a wrench in the plan. But I would like to see the target response here from Oomfie, as the Orisa ban comes in, so no Orisa Tracer comps are going to be coming in here. I would expect to see a lot of Genji, a lot of Ramatra, and it seems like Oomfie are just comfortable with letting Cernunnos play that Ramatra, because that's just ultra confidence, being able to play your own game and let the enemy do what they want, knowing that you're better.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to see on this map, yeah, you go to the Orisa, which is good, or you're a Tracer, which kind of matters. I get it, it's close space, long distance, but that first point is going to be dive centric up top, so you kind of lose the big up top. But you see an Ashe coming out on Rowan's side. Jinx going back to his Junkrat, might get something worth out of it. I mean, Cernunnos on their defense side is okay. I don't know how I feel about the Brig Kiri. Maybe Brig Juno, maybe Brig Ana, probably better here. Jinx has to get something going here with the DPS. On Oomfie's side, if Ronan stays as Ashe, that could work. You know, I mean, you could go Widow, and Daybreak does change the Ana, so that helps them out. But Oomfie here could literally just go one direction as a team and probably just put Cernunnos back in their spot if they felt like it, or they could mess around.
I mean, with the way that Ronan is looking in this lobby, it doesn't seem like this is going to be a close map. But getting into this, we're just going to see early poke from both sides. This Hazard composition has a ton of verticality. Panini finds a pick. I mean,
yeah, to me, that is crazy. Especially as your Lucio on the Soj character that can slide away. But yeah, there's two. Yeah, they're just gonna play, walk them down back to their spawn door, and
yep,
yeah,
Conic falls. Ronan finding more and more and more, and Volcarona just cleaning him up. This is rough here.
Yeah,
As that's gonna be first point cap.
Yeah, so I think with this, it does suck. Cernunnos does not have a map win on their side yet at all this season, but they either the team's getting along well enough, or something went wrong at the beginning of the season. Who knows? Maybe someone couldn't show, and they lost someone they spent the most money on this draft. But I mean, you're Oomfie here. You're just gonna move card. I mean, you have one of your DPS on card. You have both your DPS pretty much on card right now, and your supports are just leading the way in tanky. And how do you find this up top? This
game is going to be a statement from Oomfie. As I say that, Jinx finds Panini out of nowhere.
Yeah, Ronan gets the trade right back on Jinx.
Again with the trade.
I mean, you see kind of just up back, and the Oomfie just keep pushing part. They don't care that the backline's getting dough. It's not an issue to them. But they might get one. Cleanse comes out, jumps away. They get the Soj back again.
Ronan just
break.
biffing here.
Yeah. Figured break.
Monkey drops down low on card.
Out.
Xlera finds another pick on the Brig. This is just looking dire here. Your monkey is low. What can you do in this situation? Can you even touch? If you do, you're just gonna get burnt here.
Yep. Bob comes out. You know they got point. That is just salt to the wound, man. That was so unnecessary by Ronan.
It was unnecessary.
To fill it out. That is insane.
It was unnecessary, yet you still look at the ults from Oomfie, and there's a way that they can just snowball this and get like a world record here or something on this point cap. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything as quick as this.
No, I mean, if you're Cernunnos here, the issue is they're allowing Connor just to jump the back line, and they don't care. When Connor jumps the back line, they get value out of it. So I don't know if Connor's sounds right. Wow, Ronan gets a great early pick. Nano comes out. Raindown comes out and gets one. E comes
Big
out for nobody. Yeah, great beat. I mean, you tried out 2 for 1, maybe 2 for 2. Wow.
Ronan finding 2.
I mean,
but Ronan is still finding picks in all of this. Ronan is just being a god right now in the server, taking over, hitting every single shot here. Konig is forced to jump out, but I mean, you blew all of your ults if you're Cernunnos here. How are you going to win this next fight? I say that a pick comes in onto
oh my god, there's 2 out. Blade comes out 1. Good big sleep.
It's going to be rough here.
Oh my god, almost gets a deflect kill on him, and yeah, Daybreak isn't gonna be able to touch here. And I mean that's 4 minutes, 4:20 on the clock. I mean,
Nice.
Oomfie literally just nice. Oomfie literally just has to hold him first point. Original just has to win one team fight this entire map, and they already take him to time advantage. But I mean, Cernunnos is just either not on the same page or they're just playing scared. Oomfie is just walking through. Ronan clearly is feeling himself really well with 16-0, 68 damage. But Oomfie has to just kind of just do their own thing, and Cernunnos has to just not be scared and make something out of something for once, rather than just letting them walk all over him.
What I'm looking at here is Ronan. If you want any chance at all of winning a fight, you have to shut down Ronan. Because Ronan comes in with like 3 kills every single fight and is just cleaning up your backline, cleaning up your tank. Your tank is falling low all the time. There's insane pressure on your backline if you're Cernunnos, and then Ronan will just kill anyone if he can. Like, I have not seen this guy miss a single shot here.
Yeah, he's not missing. He definitely has music in him and is just letting it go. Jinxed, back on Junkrat, did nothing the first time around. They're still running this weird dive hybrid comp. Outside, they're still running a dive comp on defense. And Rowan's just going to be that backbone of just keeping everybody contained. I mean, anything could happen, right? It's not game over yet, but it definitely is not looking in their favor at all right now.
Yeah, this high ground is looking really difficult to take with that dynamite coming in. There's just so much pressure onto Cernunnos
Can we
here.
go back to that Junkrat thing real quick? I want to see what his reticle looks like. That was an insane reticle on that Junkrat. Look like a pure dot. Wow, that is.
Full Corona finding a pick
That
on
is
the
a
Creo.
crazy reticle. That's all I say. What is that? All right, you go next. That's insane. But yeah, that's since great dynamite there by Ronan and a big wall just to finish it off. And they're not moving. I get you're down one, but it looks like he's just scared to even move or walk it. Okay, this is even a worse. Dude, okay, nah, this team has to be trolling. This is the worst crosshair ever. And he gets moved off height. And I mean, jump out. Check my god, first one down. They could capitalize something off this, and it doesn't matter. Panini gets another pick, and he's just gonna fall off high again.
I don't know
at
how
it.
Panini keeps finding picks in this series. Every time we see Panini, they're always just on like an off angle, or they're inside of the team, the enemy team. It doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
I mean, what Conic, where are you going? I mean,
yeah,
that's
figure
kind of
something
rough
out.
there. Old's
Yeah.
battery walking. There is nothing happening here. Your Bastion is falling low, your Anti-Nade is forced out, and the Bastion still dies anyway. The Nano Monkey forced back to try and peel, and you can't even trade backlines here. This is so difficult. Conic just can't get anywhere. All of the nades are forced in these fights. Conic falls low all the time, and Creo just seems like a walking old battery.
Yeah, I mean, they got something going, but Oomfie is just, they hold point, they let him walk in, give him a little slight bit of hope, and then they crush it. I mean, Reinhardt might not be bad, but you have a character who has
Double
a chef
hit
to get
scan.
height, someone that can jump up, a guy that can climb, TP and run. I mean, Reinhardt's gonna, speed comes out. Oh my god.
Oh,
Just
no, you
so much
left your
deflect
bastion.
damage. So much deflect damage. That's 2 for Xora. It might be 3. It might be 3. I don't
Yeah.
think Jinx is getting out of this alive. Wow, he does get through. He got tank. That is. Are we gonna get a Lucio diff? Oh my god. This is insane Lucio 1v1. I wish Panini would chain that. I so wish he was gonna chase that. Do it. Do that anyway.
It's hard to describe even what I'm watching here, because I just watched Oomfie in that fight was able to cut off their Bastion because Cernunnos called a rotation to point, but everyone but the Bastion, Creo, was able to rotate. Creo was still stuck in that room. And it looks like they may try it again, They better fix the problem though, because I mean that just killed them last time. It was so rough. I mean,
B comes out,
X-Layer
Blade comes
coming
out.
in,
Yeah, that's
Big B.
yeah. Made comes out, but it doesn't
Rio.
matter. I mean, that's last fight. If any,
Surely
how
it
did
doesn't happen
Data Blue
third
go all the way over
time.
there? How did the Ana get through that little room all by herself? I don't know how Data Blue got through that room by everybody and just lived for a little bit. On this side, yeah, you have 10 seconds, and Bob comes out, and it's just gonna hold you main. Yeah, this is
I don't even
This-
think they get a touch here.
no, they don't get a touch. And I
No,
think just like that,
it's over.
Oomfie, Jinx finally got to pick. Oh, never mind, Jinx died right after.
GG's
Only map-
Cernunnos, Oomfie University take it into not even allowing Cernunnos to take a single map during the season.
Of the game.
Although that
Yeah.
is rough for Cernunnos, you got to be looking at Oomfie here. That was a statement win.
Yeah, this, there's only one game left, but with that, I think I'll pull up the sheet properly if I can get through this after this. My MVP for this map, little side thing, is probably Claybird. I know we didn't play that round. If not Claybird, then for me it's Panini. That's just my MVPs.
My personal MVPs, my personal MVP here has got to be Ronan. Ronan just cleaned up every single fight. It was just watching absolute cinema.
So breaking news come from C League. Cernunnos is officially out of playoff contention. Even if they won next week, it wouldn't matter. I mean, minus 12, yeah, there's no way they're getting up anywhere. They would have to sweat the last two games. So Cernunnos is out. Oomfie does take the advantage over Boa with a good map differential. If it was tied though, Boa would keep first, as Boa is the only team to beat Oomfie. But as we go to tomorrow, it looks, we have 2 games today. Anything can still change. But Oomfie, if anything, the lowest that goes third. Same with Boa, lowest that goes third. Terrapin either moves up or they stay the same, no in between. Goatman either goes all the way up to first or they drop to fourth. Everyone else is below, 5th and below, is still in contention for their spots. But no matter what, they have a spot in the playoffs. The Bear and Noctis right now are shown as their play-in matches, meaning log racers. They have a bye week. Everyone has a bye week, but like they have some time to get some stuff going if they keep their spot. Everyone else, same exact thing. But Cernunnos is officially out of C League.
I gotta say, GG's to Cernunnos. You tried. It didn't end up working out in the end. In fact, it ended up working out really badly. But I mean, kudos to being here. And for Oomfie, looking forward to playoff appearances from you guys. That was absolutely incredible play today.
Good win. Terrapin did win, which is good, so that's why they kept fourth, and that's why log racers kind of went down. Tomorrow, though, I'm excited to see Boa play. I think Boa will be, Boa does not play tomorrow. I played Friday. That is completely my fault. But I mean, I'm looking at these games, and I'm trying to see right now. I cannot find. Yeah, Goatman and Terrapin for tomorrow, and that'll be a battle for 3rd and 4th. I mean, Terrapin win, they move up a spot. If Goatman win, they could potentially jump up to 1st, depending on how it goes. So both battling for something heavy, both battling for a good spot in this year's playoffs. Going through the rest, it's anything can happen, right? Anything can happen.
Yeah, make sure to stay tuned to Bad Pachimari League on Twitch and YouTube, because we're just getting started with the action here. We're not into playoffs yet. This is looking insane. Only 2 teams, 1 secured for playoffs and 1 out of the running, but the rest is up for grabs.
Yeah,
Things are looking
and
exciting here.
it's going to be exciting. I mean, we already have 1 team at least out. Yeah, more games tomorrow at 6. I'll be playing tomorrow. Tomorrow is sadly going to be, I think, my last game of the season. So I'm going to miss playoffs. Kind of sad. But oh well. Life happens. That's all I got from me. Anything else from you, Radical?
Alright, I hope everyone enjoyed this stream, and make sure to stay tuned.
Have a good night, everybody.
just a slow dance with the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few, 'cause right now we got nothing else to do. The sun is peeking through the cotton white blinds, your hands still tangled up in mine. Feet on the wall, your head on me, floating easy. We got nowhere to be, got nowhere to be. Your hair's a mess, but you don't mind. You just laugh, let it fall where it lies. Coffee's cold, but we take a sip, talk about nothing. Let the morning slip. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly